1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Well, good morning and welcome to Nottingham. We have had the briefings. We will be doing a bit of a test for the horns very shortly. So if you didn't hear horn, please let us know. On a serious note, we will now be doing testing of the horn. This is the official horn to start the games, half times and restart the games. The times are 20 minutes, 5-minute half time, followed by 20-minute half, followed by 5-minute changeover. Once you've finished on your pitches and shook hands, you will need to start making your way off pitches because the games today will be timed to the second. We need to keep on track and schedule for this event. Tap-off will be in less than 10 minutes, so please make sure you are on site, you are ready to play. So you are less than 10 minutes away. 2, 3, 4, less than 10 minutes away now before the first game. We will be live on streaming on pitch 1. If you are on pitch 1, professional at all times. We've had both the captain's briefing and the referee's briefing, so everybody is up to date.
We're just going to run 3 pods like this. So pod 1, Canterbury pod, Charlie, Toby, Matt, Link. Up to Eagles pod, Matt, George and Tom, Link. And then random pod, me, Alex, Harry, Link.
So we will be doing a test. This is a test.
Box side movers appear about Naylor.
That horn will start and finish games, halves, etc.
So yeah, we'll stick to those pods in the boys this game. We're going to mix it up over the weekend. Okay. We've been through all our plays. Obviously we've got the arrows bounce as our main subbing play. Let's stick with subbing pretty much every time. Unless we get a question.
Whomever's on control, if it's Jack or Ashley, would you just be able to put the timetable on the WhatsApp group, please,
Run that latch. Just
for today's matches and tomorrow's? Thank you.
Everyone else has dropped that. We'll be sharp. Wing knows their role for the latch cut. On attack, sweeps and 32s, remember, just in that defensive shape. Key thing is though, just comms. Okay? I want to make sure we strike them. I don't want us burning touch.
So the next time you hear that klaxon will be at 10 o'clock. Where is it? You'll hear that at 10 o'clock. Ready to play on pitches.
I don't want us just burning touch.
We are now just under, we've just clocked over the 5-minute warning. This is your 5-minute warning to make sure you're on your pitches, ready to play.
It doesn't matter if we're leaving the wings free. Let's test them out. If they can throw long, great for them. Good enough to chase after. No one scores.
Let's get down first. Give you one night at it. We've had a million nights just like this. Let's get down first.
Well, a very, very good morning, a very good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this around the world. This is the England Touch Nationals 2021, and we begin 2 fantastic days of touch rugby live from Nottingham Rugby Football Club, Lady Bay, by the banks of the River Trent. As I say, we are by the banks of the River Trent. It's a very windy morning, if anything, here in Nottingham. And after 3 days of Test cricket, the perfect warm-up to the main event of the weekend here in this fantastic sporting city of Nottingham. South East Sharks against North West Blades gets us going here this morning in the mixed open competition. My name is Jarlath and I'll be commentating on the action today. Joining me for the first game and joining us throughout the weekend is an England Touch legend.
I don't think so.
Oh, I think it is. Chris Wimmer. Chris, a very good morning to you. First of all, how amazing is it to have this tournament back up and running after, we all know why last year wasn't happening, but how amazing is it after 2 years we're back and we're ready to go with another fantastic tournament?
Yeah, we've had a fantastic 6 weeks, to be honest, Jarlath. We've had 6 club tournaments, which have been in Oxford and Banbury, each with 24 teams, and the appetite was shown by those tournaments being fully booked more than a month out. As soon as we announced them, the club signed up, and and to take that step up now into the nationals, and it's the next step of the England pathway for some of these players. But it's brilliant to have it back and to be already looking ahead to the 2022 European Touch Championships, which will be back here in Nottingham at the University of Nottingham Highfield Sports Centre, which is a fantastic location, and as is Nottingham Rugby Club, Lady Bay. It's the pitches are lovely. Having walked across them this morning, the rain you're talking about, Test cricket in the city, so of course there's been rain over the last couple of days, and what that's done is it's made the surface lovely and lush. So we'll expect some good sidestepping, but more importantly, some good try-lights from the diving going on as the players slide in from a couple of metres out.
It looks like we're about to get underway here with this morning's action. We're going to be with you through until around about 5:30 BST this afternoon. And we're about to get ourselves underway. Referee waiting for the siren, and we are underway ourselves here.
So that's Northwest Blades playing from left to right as we look. So Northwest Blades are in the black, and they've got a mixture of players from a variety of clubs, and you know, Manchester, PFT, Wigan, Chester, Crewe. We've had a load of clubs that have all done really well in the National Touch Series this year.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about that National Touch Series, the Elite National Touch Series. I mean, it was a fantastic tournament. And like you say, Wigan winning the Elite one.
Yeah, and more importantly, as far as the Northwest is concerned, is NQ Rebels finished second, and they're another Manchester Northwest-based team. And as I say, it's all set up well. See, the Southwest Sharks and the Southeast Sharks, as we see the first. This is going to be the first try-scoring opportunity of the morning.
Oh, I think it wasn't.
Just as a so what happens on that, Jarlath, is that the half, who's the person who picked the ball up, they can't score, but what they can do is they can turn on the afterburners and then accelerate through.
Apologies for the scoreboard not working at the moment. We're just trying to get that sorted for you. As here come Northwest Blades. Remember, of course, for those of you who are new to touch rugby, there's only 6 tackles they can have, or 6 touches, in fact, that they can have before the ball gets turned over. As you say there, the half gets taken up there.
Yeah, so what happened on that scoop there was that Demi Quinn, who's the number 5 for the Southeast Sharks, you know, he took the ball up, and then what he's looking to do from that situation is to put the afterburners on and say, this time it's slightly different, because the half
here.
Because in that situation they then played what's called a quickie off the floor. So it's just a little quick pass to Chris Wall, the number 9, who's from CSCC London Eagles. He's partnered up with Colin Scott there, the number 10. He's again from Eagles. I think it's Colin. And now Sharks have got exactly what they want. A fresh set of 6. Sorry, it's Harry Richards, the number 10. They've got a fresh set of 6 on the 7 to start from having conceded by Northwest. Yeah, we'll get that time sorted out during the half-time break. Let's just go and diving in as Johnny Liotta, a famous former Sale Sharks and international, playing his trade with NQ Rebels in the Northwest.
Really good touch. If they can make this a.
So it's being shut down quite comfortably there by Northwest Blades, because. But now it's this is
chance here for Harry Richards. Touchdown, I think. He's given that, yes.
Yes, so it's a good try. Is that what's happened there on that is the Southeast Sharks pulled the Blades defence all over to one side, and that's what's called. And what that's then done is that's left for Harry Richards on the right hand side, and he's got a fair bit of pace, as we saw on that score, to finish things off, to open things up for these Sharks.
Looks like the scoreboard for us is working now, which is always good. A slight delay there, but here we go with the Stanley driving turnover there. Chris, what was the referee given there?
So it's just a loss of control. After the touch, if you're then reaching to put the ball in, then it's going to get turned over as a loss of control. So Blades, that's Sarah the Manchester, and
Dylan Fletcher now trying to drive in there, it looks like.
So what's good to see from the Blades perspective, as far as mixed touch is concerned, is there female players in the middle positions as well. It can happen, particularly that you end up with the men dominating the play quite a lot. Now, when you get higher up, is that, you know, we're very fortunate in England to have some really experienced female players, both in terms of in the mixed game, but also in the single gender. And when they're playing in single gender, is that they then get more experience in those playmakers, and it's then really mix it, you know, so to mix and match, having those players involved in the ball, in the playmaking, and open up space on either side to you know, to get men into more into positions where they can capitalise on open space, maybe. So it's so this is one of those things that's a development that we're seeing a lot more of, and Sarah Bellew was really heavily involved in that in the Blades build-up as they were designed on the Shark 7. This is a really good attack from the Blades. They've put some really lovely, good.
They have done, yeah, indeed. It looks like there that would have been Joseph Wright trying to get over. He's going to have to play the ball again now, and I think he's going to get touched again. He is, but obviously the half can't score. There he is, Joseph. Fantastic score there.
No, it's not much on the
oh,
dive.
is it? Oh,
yeah,
right.
so
My apologies. It looked like I looked like he'd scored that.
Yes.
No, we're going to get that all day, aren't
we?
I?
We are going to get that all day. So one of the integral players in setting it up, he's a Crewe and Nantwich player, still very young, makes me feel extraordinarily young when you see teenagers playing so well. And he was at the Junior Touch Championships in Paris back in 2019, winning gold medals for England.
Stanley, once again, she's been very integral in this opening 5 minutes or so on the last. And is she going to get it touched?
No, that's a good cover defence there. As so the Blades defence could see that.
23. Meg Brown.
Yeah, she could see that coming and drifted over really well. See, the biggest difference this weekend is that we're shifting from playing 20-minute games in the National Touch Series games, which is what you level. So it becomes more of a chess match. So yes, Sharks are 1-0 up, but at the moment it's going to be no. The Blades are not going to be too worried about doing it at the minute. Is they've also tried to drag the Sharks' defence. This time the Sharks' defence has stayed resolutely 6 all the way across the field, which created a bit of an overlap. Johnny Liotta looked to exploit that. They've got a lot of experience in this Blades midfield. Greg and England England mixed 30s and also men's 40s international, having played Wales a couple.
It'll be a really big battle that we've got going on here, because of course South East Sharks are the defending champions that won this this event, in particular the mixed opening, and the Northwest been fantastic so far this season, and they are looking to try and win back this title.
Yes, and I think we've got 2 areas which are real concentrations of quality touch clubs. One of them is the Northwest, which was spoken about already. Manchester, Enki Rebels, Wigan, Crewe, Chester. So that's half a dozen who are all represented here this weekend in their region. And then in the southeast, you've got some very strong London clubs in Eagles, Scorpions, Galaxy, and Hot Custard. Australians playing for Hot Custard who won't be here this weekend because you've got to be qualified for England to play in the Nationals. But also is that they play at a high, competitions that happen within those areas which are pretty high level. Well, obviously people will start talking about in the Midlands because there are some really good clubs in those areas as well. But in terms of concentration of quality with one small area, you can't look much further than the southeast and the northwest.
Well, that's obviously the half can't score. He's got to try and find a way. He's got a touch there, and it's going to be a handover. It's been a very, very tight game, this. I thought, obviously, it looked like the Northwest Blades are going to level up, but crucial touch on the 6th tackle. Only had the 1 try scored so far.
Yeah, it's a decent score, that first one. It's going to take something a little bit, I'm not going to say special, but it's going to take a lot of patient build-up, I think, from the teams to break each other down and sizing each other up, and also pacing themselves around the 40 minutes. We see Ollie Holmes.
He's got to try and bring it back inside there because, of course, he can't score, and neither can set. And it's another really good defensive set. Both sides, to be fair, have been excellent so far this morning.
Yeah, the defence has been very good. It's been very calm and patient on both sides. That's Ollie Holmes. That's a really nice little defensive play. What he's done is he's shadowed the runner, and then what he's done is he's waited till she's kind of run a bit past him before making the touch, so that her momentum then takes her past the point where you're then playing the ball, which then slows down her momentum. So it slows down the momentum of the play by using her momentum as an individual. So that was actually really, it's a little bit cheeky, but it's quite a savvy bit of play there just to slow the Sharks down, and it worked because then Blades shut it down and have got the turnover, and Holmes goes up and then subs off. As you can see, there's plenty of rolling subs.
Yes.
So players will stay on for maybe a couple of minutes and then go off and have a couple of minutes breather, and you've got a squad of 6 on the field at any, and then you've got squads of 14 who are.
Was touch there, I believe.
Yes,
there was. Very, 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 very good play. I think that was actually Amelia Stanley again.
Yeah, that's but if when it comes to their half-time chat, they need to be more lateral in defence, because at the moment they're straight up and down. That's the second time that the Blades have had a 4-on-3 or even outside. Neither time have they been able to capitalise. The first time the Johnny Liotta pass went over the winger. That time it went to the link player, and this time Sharks have broken through. Just
think there is.
Yeah.
That's really good defensive play there from the Northwest Blades.
Yeah, good scramble after Greg Cropper got skinned just a little bit. He won't mind me saying so. Anyway, no, it was a good side. But that previous time, as Johnny Liotta found the link, and again, it was good defence from the Sharks to come in and step and shut that down. But they need to those overlaps.
Straight through the middle this time, and here's a scoop up there. Really good opportunity. I think he's just lost control. It's a shame there because they're really good opportunities, creating themselves some good opportunities. At the moment, though, they just can't take them.
Yep. And it goes on. I mean, it's only 1-0, so it doesn't matter so much now. If they go and get another try, for example, then you're starting to rue these. We see Charlie Meredith from Canterbury. That's a long way to come.
That is a very long way to come. Although, to be fair, if people who aren't familiar with Nottingham, who will maybe watching this around the world, it's the middle of the country, so college into one place. As they come through again here, the Sharks score because it was the half that picked it up. That is Thomas Hopkins Flanagan.
Yeah, that's a textbook play from that situation. So the half's gone through. The half's gone through, and then they're looking for the try scorer has come up, and has come hovered just before the try, and is there just so as soon as that scoop has gone through, they've gone way deep into the in-goal ball zone, up to the dead ball line, and then you want the player to come a little bit late, so they're not getting shadowed by a defender, and then just diving straight down. So yeah, and I'm not going to say they deserve it more than the Blades have so far.
Certainly have, as once again the Blades come through.
So you see Blades are now putting, so now all of a sudden they do have that overlap again on their left.
There's Povey trying to get across and can't. It's an intercept.
And that's a zero touch, which is one of the new rules this year. So a bit like Rugby League, if you intercept it, the full touch is a zero. But on that one, this time, it was maybe a little bit of inexperience from Ollie Holmes, because again, Blades had an overlap on the left. If you ship the ball left quickly in that situation, then you're going to be more likely to score. So, as I say, it's the difference between the two has been the clinical nature.
And once again, an opportunity here. Touchdown it is.
Charlie Meredith.
It is. That's a really, really good score, and very, very quickly, the Sharks have gone 3-0 ahead.
That's a mirror image of their previous score. And so Charlie Meredith is, he's hovered about a metre or so from the try line. There are a few standard calls in touch, and one of them is mirrors, which is that when the half breaks through like that, somebody screams very loudly mirrors, and that you just pick up the nearest player who's to you. And there was no mirrors there. You could see that there was some that players are looking at. So do I go with the ball carrier? Do I look at somebody following up? So there was no. There wasn't a massive amount of just left Charlie Meredith unmarked just to get his go-go gadget arms out to extend the lead to
with a really good ball across there to
Greg Cropp.
And now they don't really seem to be able to drive here at the moment. But here comes Johnny Liotta. Can't obviously touch it down because it's a half-back, and the pass all over the place. There was nobody there. Again, like the Sharks try, there was nobody there on the outside shot past the ball.
Yeah, that's, as I said, between the teams has been the clinical nature, and that's been compounded now by Blades conceding a penalty, or they've conceded 5 metres with that, so it's not too bad. But what's really important now is for the Blades to stop the Sharks' momentum in attack, and as they look to get players on, really being able to do that either. And Chris Wall, now one of the more experienced players, just can't elude that desperate touch.
No, so if you are just joining us, as you can see on your screen there, 3-0-ish. We'll judge it by the actual.
Judge it by the hooter when it goes.
We had a bit of this morning, but we got there in the end. The South East Sharks leading 3-0, and this is like in the first game of the pool stages, yes, but this is a sort of important marker to. And then there's a turnover there once again, and this is an opportunity for South East Sharks again. Talking about that clinicalness, Chris, they're not doing it in the morning, and this could be a massive marker to line for South East Sharks going into the rest of the.
And also is that tournament, but they've only got 4 games to get into the final. So it's the top 2 in the mix. So the Mixed Open has got 5 teams in it, and every other team has got 6. And but they have 4 teams over the 2 days. So I think they've got 3 today and tomorrow, and then the top 2 go into the Mixed Open final, and then the next 3 go into the placings, which is going to be a little 20-minute at lunchtime on Sunday. So yes, but at the same point, they need to get a win if they want to be in a chance of getting into the top 2. Because this Sharks is looking pretty slick, I have to say.
Yes.
They've defended the Blades overlaps, even though they do need to that's against some other teams. But also is that they have been very, as I say, very clinical in defence.
I think there was a touch on that.
Yeah.
None given. My eyesight is working reasonably well this morning.
Plays that way for the rest of the weekend. It's a long old weekend.
It is.
7.5 and then the similar.
Yeah, but we're all going to be across it here for you as best we
lovely
possibly
hands.
can. That's a really good pickup there, actually, there by Erin Payton. That's
Yeah, Erin Payton's, she's one of those players who plays for the, for the more experienced. I think it's London Scorpions, but it's.
Payton might be able to get over the top, and it is a touchdown, and it is going to be Ayla Payton this time who does score a try for the South East Sharks, and quite frankly they're pulling away here.
They are now, and they're pulling away, they're running that same scoring play time and time again. And with the half makes the scoop, they go through, they've got too much pace for Blades to recover. The Blades scramble defences, and they're not then shadowing the play. And there were two options. It could have been, it was either of the Paytons could have scored, and both of them had, plenty of time to be able to touch it down. And at 4-0, that's now if I'm on the Blade in their sub box, the co-coaches Greg Cropper and Sarah Belli are going to need to be keeping everybody calm.
Johnny Liotta's got an opportunity. Did he keep control of it?
Yes,
he did. That's a really, really good score. Let's be honest with you, that wasn't the best passes that you can ever see in your life, but he managed to keep control of it, and it's a very important score right on the stroke of half-time.
And also is that I thought Cropper had gone the wrong way with that, because again, they'd got another overlap. This time they come to the right, and Liotta showing all that comes from many appearances in the Premiership and at international level. To get down low and to more importantly, to keep control of the ball as it came to him. So it's a brand new ball that they're playing with today. It's a brand new Steeden. And which is great, and it needed it in that situation.
Chance here, really good chance here. Oh, has he lost control? Has real good opportunity that, and he just couldn't keep.
That's an interesting call, that, because I thought don't criticise referees, but I thought that went backwards off the Sharks player and then was fumbled by the Blades and should have been a 6 again for the Sharks on the 7. But so that's my call up here. I know it's easy. We're nice in the shade, and with 6-7 meters above the pitch here in the gantry at Nottingham.
Opportunity though. They're going to have to offload it quickly. I think there's a touch on that. Is there?
Yep.
So then there's a thought. I think there, to be fair, I think Sam Grinton must have thought he'd have scored there, but he just couldn't quite get the ball down, and that is half time.
So that's the last play, and I think just going into the half is that obviously Sharks are going to be the happier because they're leading. Blades really needed that score from Johnny Liotta, but for them, I think the defence better, and they need to take advantage of all of their overlaps that they're creating on the left, and maybe they'll be able to put it back a little bit in the second half.
Definitely. Switching into a 4-0 lead, but then 4-1 it was for the Blades to score there from Johnny Liotta. Let's take a look at what Bournemouth schools have been doing this morning as we get ready for half-time.
So Alan Reid, our Schools Development Officer, arranged a touch session today with the children from St Joseph's School here in Branksome. We started with about 20 children today between the ages of 7 and 11.
We don't normally have that mix from year 2 to year 6, which is what we had today.
Essentially, we explained to them a little bit about the difference between touch and tag rugby that they've been playing. We organised a warm-up, got them working together as a team, did some ball skills with them, and then we progressively took them into kind of a little touch game.
I thought the session was really good. I thought it was great for the children. They were all on task, they were all engaged. Everybody had an opportunity to play. They learnt the new rules, and it was a challenge for some of them, but I really liked that because then they had to really stop, think about what they were doing, why they were doing it, and how they were going to be successful.
Once we get them sort of catching and passing, the skills that they've learned from netball or football or any other sports, they're transferable. So they soon pick it up, and they're all playing games in the playground, catching and passing and running, and playing it and things like that. So we sort of build off of those skills and then introduce touch skills as we go along. And generally over about an hour, they pick it up. and we probably end up with a game of touch netball, which is kind of a hybrid, which most of us have all played at some level, and the girls and boys, end up playing that and enjoying it.
In the touch game, you don't tend to stop players. They don't, in tag, it's tag, the game stops, somebody comes back. It's a lot of dead time, whereas with touch, it seems to be ongoing. They're constantly active.
You've got to get players in at grassroots level, and if we can get them before they are teenagers, where they've already chosen karate or badminton or whatever it might be, if we can introduce touch earlier, I think that's a great way to raise awareness, get them engaged in a sport that's all-inclusive. And actually the one difference that we've got with a lot of sports is obviously boys and girls playing together, and they don't necessarily have to stop playing together when they become teenagers, which I think they have to when it's rugby and perhaps other sports.
I saw the children's reaction to it today. They really liked it. I've managed to speak to a couple of them, and it's something they said that they'd like to do. So from that aspect, if it's pupil voice, the children want to do it, then I'm all ears, and I would like to continue that.
So yeah, we can coach them how to coach, if you like, and so they can play some of the games and take those afterwards into the school sessions. Alternatively, if they're really interested, as we have seen with some of the children, we offer them the option to come to Bournemouth Touch Centre on a Monday night, where they can then plug into our infrastructure there, and we've got 4 kids coaches who run a session from 6:30 through to about 7:30.
Brilliant video there from Bournemouth second half here. Just how important is that schools programme in order to start developing those future players that could be going to represent England?
It's massively important, Jarlath. It's been the biggest focus over the last year during the lockdown period. So England Touch appointed Sammy Phillips as National Development Officer last October, and over the course of this period of time. So what was happening before was that individual clubs were operating on their own. Were operating on their own mission. So what they were doing in Bournemouth was being driven by and Jason Cunningham. What we've now got is a more coherent programme across the court. A little bit more about that later.
Trying it in.
It's loss of control there.
Oh, what a chance that was.
Yes.
The overlap there, it looked like for a minute that Northwest Blades didn't come out the traps at all.
Yeah, this is really important for Blades to not. So just to go back to the schools thing just quickly, is that so there's a dedicated schools coaching course. There's a so there's a new version of the sport, or an adapted version of the sport called which introductory level. And then more importantly is that a lot of clubs are also got their own programs that they've going. Bournemouth being one. As Blades just have the one. Nottingham, it's got a massive number of kids who are playing. Up in the northwest, Crewe, down in Oxford, Didcot, that kind of area. There's lots of at youth level, and in a couple of weeks' time we'll see nationals in Oxford. Inevitably there will be some because people are coming into the game. Really important just to get youngsters sport with oval balls, and especially in a minimal contact environment. And especially with when you've got the same team as well, I don't think you can overstate how important that is.
Also in a moment, but here's a chance this time. Yes, that's a touchdown.
As Dom Shaw's on the far side, he's given one. He's ruled one out for a loss of control. He's ruled one out for a touch. He's given me a bacon and sausage sandwich this morning.
That's a really good move, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah. Chris Wall there with the try. What's happened is that the Sharks have conditioned the Blades by going wide a couple of times, and this situation, that's just a breakdown. So what I was talking about in the first half, where you just because you ignore what the ball carrier is doing because they can't score. In that situation, they needed to do the opposite of mirrors, because Chris Wall could score because as a quick pass off the floor. So they've kind of looked to defend the mirrors, and it wasn't the mirror's call to do that. So just a little bit of a breakdown again by the Blades midfield there.
Opportunity though for the something moving. He's now looking to move this ball a little bit. Oliver Holmes trying to. He's gone so deep into the in goal, and he was not happy about the fact that nobody was there again on his outside shoulder. This is something they're going to have to improve on if they're going to make the top 2.
They've got the playmakers. It's just getting everybody onto the same. Ollie Holmes did exactly what the Sharks had been doing before in terms of going through, and as you say, there was just not. Whereas the Sharks in that situation have been getting players unmarked onto the goal line, is that the Blades doing that to get themselves into the same situation now.
Here's an opportunity once more again then for the Sharks. This is on the last, so they're going to have to offer something. But again, someone deep there on opportunity. Oh, good touch. Really good, because Amelia Stanley was looking like she could be getting her second try of the game, and really good defensive play there that time from Meg Brown.
Yeah, that time the Blades defended that really well. I think that what's worrying from the Blades perspective is the Sharks are able to get that momentum going and get a roll on, and to defend that's really, really difficult at pace.
So at this moment in time, around about, if you're new to touch rugby, it is 40-minute games at this moment in time. 20 minutes per side. And there's an opportunity here. What a score! That was absolutely superb. That's from Greg Cropper going through, and he completely sold everybody there for a sandwich. Absolutely outstanding.
I don't know. This time Brendan Harrington's... No, that's fine, they're giving. So passing the time of day. Isn't it sunny? Hope the rain stays off. Carrying on. Not score by just somehow ghost his way past two defenders and maintain his balance up this near side touchline. So, yeah, lovely bit of play from the matron.
Very much so. So that cancels out that South East Sharks got earlier on second half. But remember, as you can see on your screen, down now. They need to try and get the next score. You think the next score could be quite crucial in this game. As the Sharks more, what can they? Really good place. Oh, that's fantastic. Really good place there from Harry Richards. Drove everybody there, and it is going to be a touchdown. And once again,
yeah, that was given by that was given by Dom Shaw on this near side, because he ruled that the ball was down. But that's one of those little 50-50 calls, and you can see that the Blades were not happy with that at all. You know, the discussion there. Who was that? That was Dylan Fletcher just querying the decision. On referees ruled the ball was down.
Do not have TMO or VAR in this sport. I think that's for a good thing, isn't it?
Judge that some VAR decisions get to be made is that it would take up the rest of the 20 minutes that we've got in the half. Actually, that's an interesting one with the cricket just up the road, is how much of a difference the quick hunt referee made to the sport.
Let's not talk about the 16-point. Oh, is that a touchdown? Is he getting? I think it was a touch there. I did think very, very elusive.
Charlie Meredith's go gadget arms, helping him with the defence on that situation.
Fifth tackle there, and obviously Sage Bannister thought she would just go to the outside, and nobody there. The pass was very, very wide.
I think if there's a criticism I've got of the Blades, is they just aren't on the same wavelength at the minute. You know, play where Plastically Holmes would have been expecting the touchline, and she wasn't. She was about 3 meters in. So, you know, so they've some good bits of play from the Blades, but overall I think the Sharks are now looking a wee bit more coherent.
They certainly are, and they're coming forward once more. If they get another score, that could be them out of sight. And here's an opportunity. Fifth tackle. Oh, referees, is he saying there's a touch?
Yeah.
I think there was. It definitely looked like Erin Payton got touched, but he's given a penalty.
For offside.
That's 6 again, doesn't it not?
That is 6 again. Offside in the midfield.
I'm learning the rules. I'm learning the rules quickly.
Well, it's such a be able to learn the rules very quickly, because there aren't that many of them. So there's another penalty as well. This time, so this is the point where it gets a bit complicated. Touch is that the defenders, provided the touch is made on the 7-meter line or closer, is the players have then got the defenders have got to make.
Oh, that was superb.
Little dinky skills there, but also is that the defending players also have to keep while the attackers have got the ball. So when from anywhere within the 7, you have to keep attacking or moving forward as a defence. You can't just stop and let the play come to you. So what happened there is that Blades conceded 1 for offside for not getting back to the 7, then another one quickly for not keeping on advancing. And those twinkle toes from Max Pennicid. He's one of the up-and-coming crop of England age group.
Absolutely. So you talked about the referees there, and you talked about the bacon and sausage sandwich that he gave you as he drove you up this morning. Because obviously they all intertwine a little bit there. So how important is that in a little bit? Not get on the ref side because it's not 15. Important is it that the referees are all on it as a there again, and that's Nurse who scores.
Yeah, that's this time that lovely timing of the pass there. He knew what was coming in terms of the running support line, and just selling fixing the defender by shaping to go long with the pass, and then for the score. Yeah, Blades really needed that. Yeah, it's really important that they keep on, that there's clear communication between the players and all the referees, and that they just stay nice and chilled. So the thing is that the sideline referees will be talking a lot to the wingers as well in terms of calling people back and communicating that goes on. You know, by the end of a day like today, is that the referees will be 40 a day for the.
Really surprised that there's an opportunity over the top. Did she touch that one?
That's been given.
I think once again it might be Isla Payton. So another one of the Paytons scoring.
Yeah, that's a lovely flush, Charlie Meredith.
It really is. And these South East Sharks are not a mixed open title very easily. If you're going to have to be very, very good to beat this lot at this moment in time, it would seem, from the South East Sharks.
Yeah, very much. I think what they've done as well is they've mixed and matched it, because they've scored a number of times on this, having just said that with the Blades, that it's turning into a shootout now. But I think what we saw from the Sharks in the first half is we saw a lot of that scoop and breaking down the mirrors, and whereas in the second half a bit and be able to go. But this time, you know, Blades are replying in kind now.
Matthew Hawkrigg there with the try. So got 10 minutes left of this game. So look, if a couple more touchdowns for Northwest Blades, and we might still have a game on here.
Yeah, they need to stop. They need to shut down the Sharks right now. And this is where
they're not going to get there. They're not going to get there. No. That's Harry Richards again.
I think this is the thing where, you know, back in 10 minutes or so into the first half, and I was talking about the biggest difference between the normal games in the Elite NTS and these games is the length of time. And I think we're starting to see that pay now, is that, you know, you can see people starting to blow a little bit, even though it's only the first game of the morning, and that fatigue will start to creep in. They've got an hour and 20 until the next game. Some of them will have a couple of that, because with the 5 teams, is that one team will always have a bye. So
Johnny Liotta could not hang on to it, and it's going to be a turnover once again. And here come the South East Sharks once more. Purvis once more on. Been very, very good so far this morning.
Oh, that's a lovely offload.
Very good indeed. And they're driving forward now. This is when you're trying to stop this at pace, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's the getting back the 7 meters which kills you. It's really, really hard as a. And that just needed a look at Aaron Payton, and that would have been another score. That was just a little bit from just a little bit selfish, but they'll have a little. You don't know if they're for it. And there's a bit of back chat now from the Blades. Brendan Harrington is well known on the circuit for not taking anything off players in terms of back chat.
Well, that one there, Ben Nurse, the culprit for that one. As here comes Aaron Payton again and tried to get the intercept there. Didn't Nurse, and it's an opportunity, and it's another try.
Yeah, they nearly blew that, the Sharks, because the covering defence was coming. But it was a little bit of pace there, so it's, that could have been so easily not an interception, but a batted down. But you know, that could have quite easily have gone from Jordan, because they had an overlap there on their left, and when you choose to cut inside, you need to finish it. Thinking your winger are going to be very angry, and he did. Just.
Well, when South East Sharks, safe to say, are going to be starting this 2021 Mixed Open here at the England Nationals with a win, unless something truly dramatic happens. But at the moment, the Blades are not looking at this moment in time. But here they come once more. Can they get another try on the board? It looked like this might go up top, and it just again. I think that avoided Sage Bannister there over on that far side. Around about 6.5 go. And here come the South East Sharks once more. Ball is lost, and this is a really good opportunity here for the Northwest Blades. Not too far out, very close to the 7, and an opportunity here for six opportunities to try and get.
Yeah, they've got their youngsters on now, so the Blades. So this is going to be a really important period to do a bit of conditioning and not to try to score. And they've just turned that they've tried, rather than manipulating the defence a little bit, as they've kind of gone a little bit for broke on that first one. And you can see the frustration there as the ball hit the ground.
That's Oliver Holmes.
Yeah, being given us a heavy touch there. He's a good playmaker. He's a player with a lot of promise, Ollie Holmes. Joseph Wright, the ball over the line, and
it's straight through. An opportunity here, and it's going to be George Miller. South East Sharks right now are putting the Northwest Blades to the sword.
Yeah, that's having just said that Ollie Holmes is a player with a lot of, it's gone straight. George Miller's gone for the score, and this, as I say, it's just maybe a little bit of fatigue and a little bit of. If the players haven't, I don't know how much they've been training in the Northwest, but if they're a massive amount. Or if they've not trained a massive amount, all of a sudden, the further you go into the game, the more and the tireder you get, the more likely you are for those kind of mistakes to happen. So, unfortunate one of those things, but a good finish by Miller.
Blades get some more points on this because obviously points difference could be a massive point going into the wins and losses here, and that is a drop there. Richard Barningham. That time for the Blades, and that could have been 11-5. It was really up. Then they're morning so far, the Northwest Blades.
Yeah, they weren't clinical in the first half. They created overlaps and couldn't finish them off. And this time they've had two gilt-edged shots on the goal line, and the line at their mercy both times.
And now this could be an overlap here again, but he's gone down the middle that time. And here comes the South East Sharks once more. Christopher Wall, opportunity.
Yeah, they just run a simple wrap play on that. So they've so Chris Wall is one of the perfect players. After the player just slowed down a little bit on the attack, it was when Adam Ducanow had overrun the touch a little bit, and then Chris Wall slows things down, and Harry Roberts just comes off the link position that goes straight through. Their defence have got an overlap. As a defence, you need to just shift a little bit so that you don't have that overlap, and that space opens up for him. So just a little. As I say, a little simple play there by the Sharks, but pays off.
Aaron Payne, the ball forward once more. And now it's Max Pritchard forward. Taking the ball now, looking to try and deliver here.
Pennicid families, all of the siblings have played England age group touch, and their dad Andy is also South East Touch Association as the regional lead as well, so they're properly, and Andy's, talking of the youth stuff that we're just at the start of this half, is Andy's done brilliant work in setting up the Wolves, the youth touch club in South London in Wandsworth, and that's going from strength to strength as well. So, fantastic work that's been done there.
Miller with the offload, and once again, no opportunity for Hopkins. Flanagan.
Touch.
So 7.
See the Otters calling for the players to come across.
Opportunity here once more for Pritchard, and there it is.
Oh, that's a touch by Greg Cropper there. That's good. That's experienced defending, and he's very, very fit. It's Greg's first ever triathlon earlier this year as well. And so to be able to then anticipate that where the play is going to be going, and then shutting that down, and that's
really good play.
Yeah, that's the best defensive, one of the best defensive sets that the Blades have done so far this game. Big goal line.
Really, really good stuff there. As the Otter takes the ball up now, and again, these interchangeable subs are quite important, especially when they go anywhere near the halfway line, because it creates a different angle for them to try and run into, and a difference there for the Sharks or for the Blades, to the defending team, to try to get through. Yeah.
So if we look at the attacking team, if we look at the attacking side first on the when they call a box or a subbing move, is for the attacking their momentum, so that the player. See, Sharks are now starting to run a box move as well. So it's really important to come on at pace so that they can just cut. And this is exactly what momentum up. And so they're attacking, although they've conceded a penalty there.
Yep.
But it's I was hang on, they're having a chat. What's this for?
Like you're given a penalty for stripping the ball. I'm not too sure whether that been the case, but
I think I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to have a chat with Lee Massey after that in terms of what that was about. But I don't think it matters massively. Anyway, so Sharks had kept their momentum going. So the players who are coming on don't have work to get into the play. They can just join it. Whereas on the defending team, what you're trying to do, and we'll see this now if the Blades look to this, is that the defending team, you're trying to stop that momentum. You're trying to make Blades use so Sharks in this instance, and we see they're putting 4 players up to shut the momentum down. So you're trying to force the Blades to use all of their touches getting up to the 10-metre line. This time Blades have got up to the halfway line and they're third, so they've done really well in that situation. But as the defending team, you're looking to slow that momentum down. So yeah, the interchange plays are massively important going through the course of the game, and of course weekend as Sharks just keep arm's length to record that win at the end.
12-4 it is for the South East Sharks. In all truth, to be honest with you, Chris, it was a very, very dominant performance, and as I say, it's set down a marker there for anybody else who wants to come through and take that mixed open title. You've got to go through a fantastically well-drilled, it looks like, at least early doors.
Drilled is exactly the phrase I would use. I think the way that they finished off those trying scoops and then having the players come up on the goal line, I think it was as you say, very clinical's the result, but plenty for Blaze to work on, plenty for Blaze to build on, should I say. They've got them some positions, just weren't able to finish things off, and we'll see how they progress over the weekend.
Chris, thank you very much indeed for your commentary. We'll see you back here a little bit later on. South East Taipans against South West Saxons will be coming up next, and the game from the we just gone. South East win 12-4.
Somehow. Yes. Charlie, please go. No, you get it. Yeah, of course. Ryan, get your captain. Matt. You're got it, aren't you? Sharp. Where's the ball in the start?
So apologies, we did miss the 1 minute warning. This is your 30-second warning. Players and officials, this is your 30-second warning. Please be on your pitches, ready to play. Players and officials, stand by.
Welcome back to Lady Bay, Nottingham Rugby for the England Nationals. And I'm delighted to say that coming up from this last game, Toby Lister joins us here from the South East Sharks. Toby, very good morning to you. That wasn't a bad effort, was it?
No, we put a couple of points on them quite early, so ended up doing quite well.
Absolutely. But got this one now, South West Saxons. This should be a really interesting game here, I think.
For sure.
Here come the the Southwest Saxons, trying to work out which one it was.
Yeah.
You're playing in blue as well, so I presume you're from the Southeast Sharks. You
no,
know?
I almost played for the Southeast Taipans there, but then got moved down to the mix. So a couple of them. So.
Well, fingers crossed it come forward once more. And here come the Taipans' first attack. That's a really nice step there.
Sub move on.
Yeah. That's a really nice floating ball. Oh, what a touchdown that is already.
Fantastic.
Fantastic stuff there. What happened on that play there, Toby?
So I'd say that the came on and really put the and then the fake really on, so they had a lot of overlap on that left.
Absolutely, indeed. So as our camera just comes back into shot there, and there's an opportunity here then for the Southwest Saxons to move the ball. How important, because obviously you went straight into the lead, as we'll come back to that in a minute, but you went straight into the lead in that game pretty much early doors. How important is it to get those early points on there and get that pressure on the opposition side?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good, especially in the first game, because it's good to get like your heads in a good place, because not many of these people have been playing together for very long, so it's nice to get some scores on with the team and sort of work out how your pods are playing, and also see how the opposition is going to be for these quite long games.
What's the difference, from the touch series? What's the difference from here playing those extended periods? Because obviously you're normally playing for just 20 minutes. I mean, I presume it's good by the end of it.
Yeah, personally, I'm not really used to these 40-minute games, so I'm definitely, I was definitely out of breath by this. But hopefully, these people should be turning out with quite high fitness standards. Most of them usually playing England sort of level, so they should sort of be on it, and shouldn't be too many people throwing up at the back of the pitch.
No, thank God for that.
In England to actually start promoting the O2 Touch offering.
It's helped me recover from injury when I did it seriously back in May, and it's just helped me keep fit and helped me keep in touch with rugby, really.
A really fabulous, friendly place. There's always huge amounts of people who come down of all ages, and we have a fabulous evening whatever the weather.
There's obviously always going to be a competitive element to sport, and there's going to be people that want to develop not only their playing but their refereeing skills and coaching skills, and we laid that on for a good group of people. And there was a hardcore, maybe of about 15, 16 of us that did the coaching courses, the refereeing courses with the ETA and Benny Powell and various others. With that, all the time, we have been sort of feeding the bottom of the pyramid with social touch and being very, very active within the O2 setup. That really is a pathway, it's the feeder into sort of developing touch, and without that feeder you're not going to get the players coming through to play in in tournaments or leagues or going on to represent their regional teams.
Bournemouth Touch Centre is so great because the people who organise it, Alan Reid and Jason Cunningham, have been doing it for nigh on 15 years. So they know what they're doing, they put a lot of time and effort into promoting it. There's new players turning up every week, and of course that makes it more competitive and people enjoy it more because of competitiveness.
Just the camaraderie. Like I said, I first moved here from Bath, and then I met Jace. It's been great with the community.
We are one of the most successful touch clubs down here on the South Coast. We would love to have you down here at our Bournemouth Touch session.
This is Bournemouth Touch Centre.
Well, welcome back. Apologies for the stream cutting out. What you have missed, Toby List, who joins us here from the South East Sharks. It looks like your fellow South East team, the Taipans, are currently in control, 6-1 ahead at the half-time break against the Saxons. They've been been playing really well.
Yeah, they've got a very nice, healthy lead, so I think they'll be heads up right coming into the second half, and hopefully Saxon can get a few more points on the board as well. Yeah, they'll have the tap off to start with. We're just waiting for the siren. I'm sure you'll be able to hear it on our effects mic as well, as the siren is ready to go. There it is. You can't miss it.
as we get ourselves back underway here at Lady Bay. Opportunity here straight away for Marcus Evans as he hands the ball off, gets a touch there. And he'll have to go. Opportunity here.
Ryan Atwood taking a touch. Hopefully they'll run something a bit more aggressive on this next one.
What? Marcus Evans looking to try to go over the top.
Oh, unlucky.
And they think he got a touch there. Would have flick it on. One further one, he would have been in there.
That was excellent wing play for that shot. Closed down that ball opportunity for sure. So we go with the coming into a sub move, I think. So Taipans in the first half were quite good at this, and they came on with a bit of vigour and scored off a couple of the sub moves. So hopefully they'll do the same here.
Here they come once more. It's Louis Tristaff was really sensational, and it starts the second half. It is a try, and once more, a try for
Hanro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Hanro Rousseau. You can see there on the on your screen.
We're back on.
We are back on. There's a chance here for the Saxons over the top.
Oh, that's a very forward pass.
It was, yeah, but to the wind there.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind today, so I think there's a hope. Sadly, there might be a storm coming in this afternoon, so hopefully it stays dry for as long as possible. But yeah, those long balls in this wind do get taken away from you.
Absolutely. Opportunity.
Sorry.
We're trying to sort out our replay machine for 1 second. Fingers crossed, everything will be. And it is. As here they come again, the Taipans. Opportunity.
Another subbing move. See if they can convert this one as well.
Yeah, they've been doing that really. Obviously, opportunity here for Gibbons, and Gibbons is trying to stalk through. He took the touch there. Opportunity there, over the top.
Oh, unlucky.
I think it was just got touched there. And it was Orlando Davis there, saving another point.
So he's going to be subbing off, and hopefully they'll come on the pitch with. See, the ball stayed on the ground for a bit too long there. You've already lost some momentum. Hopefully they can.
So you're looking at trying to keep long as possible.
Yeah. So when you put that ball roll it between your legs, wants to be so that ball on the ground is there for, and you get the fastest amount of time to play some actual rugby.
And it looks like there's been a penalty given here.
I believe that could be hips not straight. So when the touching player gets touched, you got to make sure that your hips are parallel with the try line. Otherwise, that's a penalty.
Continue, really move it here, and they have been the more dominant. They've been the more dominant. They're so far ahead at the moment on the scoreboard, and they could be about to go even further at this moment in time. Ball gets across to this far side, and there's a man wide open there. Good touch. Oh, yes, he was. Pass just wasn't right on him, and if it would have been a try. But here come the Taipans once more. Lewis Trees has been instrumental so far. Here's the fifth tackle. Obviously can't through. Goes too deep. That's a really, really good score there.
So as the Saxons have been mulling around, have been focusing on that winger, making sure that he's not available for the ball. Yes. You watch there, that winger in the far, he's focusing too much on the ball, and he's left his player really nice and open, which is an easy try, really.
Really is. As again, they start to really put the pressure on at this moment in time. The Saxons have got to try and respond. They've got to try and respond quickly. That's a nice
step.
I think they're. Again, he's been quite as Lewis Treese, but he's been touched there.
So in that attack player, they went the wrong way there. They were playing against a player who was very onside. They really should be attacking next to touch because he's more offside than anyone.
Opportunity here.
He slipped through there. Sixth touch.
I did think that there was on the Southwest player there, but it was Tui who got touched there. And here come the Taipans once more.
Here we go on their subbing move, which seems to be so good so far.
They've been really, really good on the date, Toby. They've been Been sensational, really.
I think the Saxon defence has sort of been hanging off a bit too much, given to play with.
And it's the 5th Mark Aldous who's going to try and see if he can step through there. There's Gibbons.
Oh,
Gibbons gets
unlucky.
touched there, and that's going to be a turnover.
Well done, Saxons, for keeping them out on that one. That's
nice forward roll there. Looked like it was at the gymnastics at the Olympics, but nice forward roll. But you can see there, even with the sub plays and the subbing moves, they're not getting on as these Taipans, and therefore then they're not getting that momentum that the Taipans were getting when they have those moves.
Yeah, I think that's a combination of the sub move coming on, they're just not running it as fast as they should be, and also the Taipans defence in their faces, not giving them as much room as the Saxons seems to be giving the Taipans, which when you're subby on and you've got a whole pitch in front of you, you can just set up what you want, and the ball.
Oh, lost the ball there. He wanted it away, but he didn't. And here come the Saxons once more. Opportunity arising for James Webber there, who gets the ball taken on. And once more, here come the Saxons. It's going to be Wade.
See if they can convert this time.
Oh,
nice
really
pass.
Good pass side. Just a chance there for Evans, but he's very, very quick. Really good defence there from the Taipans. At the time, it looked like they had a 2-on-1 situation.
Yeah, it did. But as soon as that long ball goes, as a winger, you're running out there and chasing that player down. And Vaughan, I think he plays men's open as a winger, so position. Fair enough.
Yeah, Evans at this moment in time, his team back into the game, but the defence is absolutely outstanding. I mean, your South East Sharks against South East Taipans, that'll be a really good game in this men's open.
Yeah, looking forward to that one.
We will try and get you other scores from, because there's not just one pitch that's taking place here at this event today, but we will try and get you the other scores for you, the break between matches. As here come the Taipans once more. It's Ollie Lee this time who takes the ball up, and he's got to be careful, and there's a bat down there, and there'll be a 6 again.
Time for back.
When you have these opportunities at the 7, it must be quite interesting, because you can literally go through your entire play.
Yeah, for sure, but I think the thing that you want to be doing... Oh, ball down. Scored off first touch. That's superb. I think that you can see the Saxons there, they just all look a bit tired, so I think their defence is a bit off there. But yeah, like you're saying about that line attack, you usually just want to base it off a couple of moves and do it reactive with the defensive play to score off that first touch.
Max Dukin with the try there, and it just increased the lead of the Taipans right now. And so here they come once more. And obviously, we watched the first half, but unfortunately our stream went down. But even in the first half, there wasn't really that many scoring opportunities for the Saxons, was there?
No. The Taipans definitely seem to be quite hot on their defence today, that's for sure.
Just there, what's the... It shows you Leach was only just a little bit short. If it had been a little bit further out, I think in normal rugby you'd be able to get away with the line, but not in touch. And that is a turnover there once again for the Taipans. And this defence, this blitz defence really has been absolutely brilliant.
Ooh. I think the Taipans player thought the Saxon player were offside there, so they lost a bit of momentum. Now and hopefully back into it.
There was the one there that you could see bringing the ball up, and once again, Treese, who's been outstanding in this game.
Good touch.
Was that? Well, I was thinking it was going to be. Well, Lewis Treese, I think, wanted the head.
I think it was caught off balance there more than a heavy. It was a good defence from Saxons to fly up there. Ooh.
And they've lost the ball again.
Heavy defence from Max there. Definitely made them panic and give them a sloppy ball, which is gives Taipans an opportunity to have another line attack.
That it does. And opportunity here. And that's going
an easy
to
score
be
there.
A try. Yes, it is. And that's another one. And that is...
Harry...
Well, I'm just trying to get our... our team sheets get blown away by the wind, but we will confirm that try scorer for you in just a moment. As the wind really starts to pick up here at Lady Bay. As the storm that you talk about, so we're supposed to be bringing in, but it is going to be Camille Shevardine, I think, actually, who got the touchdown there for South East. They move into double digits.
Wow, they really have been putting some points on.
As he could be gone. This is a real great opportunity here for the Taipans.
These are always fun to watch.
He's distance.
Nice.
That is goodbye. And another try for the South East Taipans as the intercept there. And it looked like he was just running away from everybody there.
Yeah. Which I always rate is when those wingers go distance. So
Adam Pellier with our first intercept try here on the stream. First intercept try is always good.
Yeah. And also now he's going to be so tired. It's always an effort running that full length of it. Get the water on.
Absolutely. He'll be in straight into the sub box there. Thank goodness for unlimited substitution.
It's one of the best things about constantly on, off, on, off.
But here's it for the Saxons. Can they get a score here and try and get their second? Again, look, it quickly left. There might have been a chance of an overlap there, but an opportunity now as they come forward to the right try. In fact, a game for the Saxons, and they do get on the board. And it is the number 17, Samuel Marsh, who comes in.
Goodness, he's tall.
Very.
He's not going to get a ball over him, is he?
Absolutely not. As he just comes to combox at this point. Here on the gantry at Lady Bay. So it's 11-2 then, with around about 7 minutes to go.
Is this the start of an epic comeback?
If it is, it'll be some comeback here on the stream.
No, I think 11 points, maybe 50,
Hey, the score changes that much in touch, you never know. But here comes Lewis Truce.
Oh,
that's a
ball.
really good overlap. Is he going to get inside there? Trying to get the tap. I think there was a tap on that.
And if only a bit faster, I think there would have been a try there.
No.
They'd definitely be happy about that.
Opportunity arrives. It's Truce, who's been outstanding. And I think there was a touch dive over the line, which you're not allowed to do.
That's why I love touch dives, is that they're stood up and then the next second they're lying down 3 metres behind you.
Really good pass. I think that was a bat down there, and that's going to be another.
That's a classic Camille running around on the sweeper move. He's a quick guy, so he loves to run around people. Sadly, the defence saw that coming and sort of knocked it down.
Marcus Evans there again, delivering for the Saxons. As Treese will get the ball back again, and now an opportunity here, this time for Mark Aldous. Zero. Penalty.
Ooh.
So that's another 6 against. That's at least their 3rd or 4th now defensive set. With this, with not scoring a point,
They've done very well.
And they could take this game. Look, it will back from here, not impossible, but you know, it'd be difficult to come back from here. But here's a chance. Is that a try? Yes, it is. It is. Emil once again with the try.
The confidence of that, throwing the ball away before the referees even called it. Arrogance almost.
Well, what a good! That's a really, really good score again. Camille Chabadine, who's been very, very good so far, alongside for the Taipans today.
Yeah, they're a good duo. They usually play Galaxy together, so they know the ins and outs of how they play.
Well, you have a second. Well, before we get going, then when's your?
I'd like to say I know, but I'm not actually sure. I think we've got a couple of games rest. We seem to be quite spaced out. So
you playing in men's or just the mixed?
Just the mix. I think most people just either choose one or the other. I don't think they play for both.
Is that normal in touch, or is it just the case because obviously the level and national level?
Yeah, I think it's just nationals that you do that, because usually the tournaments, the way they're played nationally is the mixed tournament or the men's tournament or the women's tournament. So you never have them all playing on the same day, really.
So yeah.
No, go on.
No, I was going to say, chance here for the Taipans, though, to their strong start to this men's Open at this moment in time. And again, they've been there off of the subs, as you've talked about, Toby, as Gibbons has tried to dive on that there, get the changeover. But again, once more, they've just difference in speed as they come away.
Yeah. 2. Oh, offside.
Looks like it's going to be an offside penalty, as you say there, and it is going to be a turn.
Yeah, always hot on that, the referees. Got to know your number on the back of your shirt so that when they make sure you're not making that touch.
Opportunity then here for the Saxons. Again, something to take into their final games. They go straight through the middle there.
See, they just completely missed her. Number 8 created quite a lot of momentum heading in there, and then they sort of slowed it down.
Yeah, Durancina there trying his best, and he's again on. The pass just wasn't good.
Not so great to pass that one, unlucky. But well held.
But there's a touch there, so there's an opportunity here. Going to go one side. Oh, what a scramble defence that was. That was absolutely superb there from the winger.
Great dive. But I love it. He called the touch before the guy dropped it. He was so focused on getting that ball.
Really, really good stuff over on that far side. I think, again, it might have been very, very good. Who had the intercept try. I think it was Pellier. Yeah, it was. Who had the intercept try earlier on. If you just an opportunity here as it goes through.
Good save.
Really good save there.
Number 8.
Well, we take what's left of this contest, and then we're going to be into our next one. Back on the stream with you around about, and it's going to be Women's Open action as the South East Sharks, Toby's team, will be taking on the West Wildcats. Have you been watching the women's team at all, or not?
Yes, a training thing. When I was at the men's for a small amount of time, they did a head-off where you play each other basically. The Taipans playing the Sharks, and both girls' teams look really. I think there'll be a good tournament to watch.
Of course, the Women's Open final is our final game. That's going to be on the Sunday afternoon at 4:30 BST. It's open, and then of course the Mix Open as well. An opportunity here for the Saxons, and it was a good touch on Aifiki Lokatui.
Let's see if they can convert this line attack. They've been up here a couple of times now to get a try under the belt.
There is a penalty there, I believe. We're going to go quick.
Is that a try?
I think it might be.
Is that how it works?
Well, the referee was pointing back, and he thought he could take it quickly.
I think he took off the wrong mark as the key, sadly.
That's a big moment there, and again, they're trying to...
Bit of confusion there.
So here comes Evans.
New 6. Come on, Saxons.
Evans again. They're trying to get the break up there. Evans. Nobody there with him at this time, but there's a chance. He flies over the head. I don't know whether it might.
Oh, again, very lucky.
Again for offside, is it not?
It is, yeah. Really work on that, Taipans. That's the second or third set of 6 they've given away for being offside.
Now then, can the Saxons get the last score of the game? We've only got about half a minute to go as Evans moves it across. There's a chance for Lokatui. Really good touch, I think, as they're going to be given the try. No, they're going to call that a touch there as he tries to dive in.
Go on, Saxons. Let's get a try to finish the game off.
Evans again. They've got someone on the left. It's now whether they step. Oh, that's a step.
Is that try?
Is he going to? No, given the Taints.
That was a close one. Great step.
Lokatui there was really, really good. That was a fantastic step. And there's the hooter. So this is the last play.
No touch rugby.
And there it is. That is full. And well, that's one-sided.
In that way, sadly. Looking forward to maybe the rest of the day being a bit more goal line, I think.
Absolutely, but like we say, it's going to be the South East Titans who take the win here in this Open, and it is 12-2. Toby, thanks very much for your company.
Pleasure.
We'll be back here for the Women's Open shortly. Well, bit of a tricky morning. I think, to be honest with you, as Chris Weirmouth joins me once again. Chris, I think we're really hoping the test match over the road finishes in about 2 hours or something like that.
Well, as long as it's finished by finals time tomorrow afternoon.
That's all, isn't it, really? So we do apologise at the stream at this moment in time, but unfortunately 1,000 people are currently at 4G. Very, very quick. So here at the moment, it's 2-0 to the South East Sharks. West Wildcats will try and look for it here, and that's a 6th touch there in that one. So Chris, welcome back. Earlier than planned, but your thoughts so far on the action that you've seen around.
Really good result over on Field 2 in the Men's Open. There's a little bit of which was Midlands Tigers beat the Northwest Blades 13-10, and I was speaking to a couple of the Tigers' parents because they're still dominated by teenagers, and it was a superb result, especially because Northwest Blades, there's a lot of Men's Open, England international Men's Open players, whereas the Midlands Tigers have got players in the Men's Open squad, but they're age grade international touch, so they don't have as much experience. So to pull that 13-10 result off was very, very good. In the Mixed Open, there was a bit of a shootout over on Field 2, 10-10. Final score between West Wildcats and Southeast Taipans, which again, that's a little bit of an interesting result because we talked about South, one of the powerhouses, and we're seeing this happen just with this breakaway to extend the Ducks.
Yep, it is. And that there is who goes through, and that is a score there. It moves to 3-0.
Yeah, so there are a lot of England Women's Open players. The Southeast Sharks set up, so Susanna Hudson, number 18, she's been the England Women's Open captain for the World Cup and the last European Championships. Susanna Hyvönen as well, she's been, we had her on co-commentary in Banbury last weekend for the Elite National Touch Show. She's fresh onto the scene she's South African, but sorry, she's not, she's come from the Far East, kind of like the Malaysia area. We're talking about how ridiculously hot it is to play touch in Malaysia. Those are both in the Shark, and Emily Irons as well. And Emily Crow. There's plenty of England women's international players. Wildcats, they're slightly older. There's not as much experience at that women's open level, but Claire Rylance, number 8, she's 27s. International, they're coached as well by Ed Budge, who's the England women's 35s coach. So there's a bit of experience. So I think this scoreline's not a surprise as far as I'm concerned, and I fully expect the Sharks to go on and to be quite at the end of the day. But expect Wildcats to hopefully score a try or two.
Well, here they come then. Opportunity knocks. Lauren Torley. Opportunity here. Think there was a touch on that. There was. I don't. There. He has to hand the ball over. I think she was looking around thinking, oh, have I got away with that one? No, is the honest answer there. Ducks come forward again, as we talked about in the mixed game earlier on, Chris. This is this side here, this house of rugby, of touch rugby at this moment, and they seem to be really into their stride at the moment.
Yeah, Emily Irons, just the ball, and Bronte Sykes as well, number 20. They're 2 England Women's Open players, and you just see their class and the experience, and oh, what a fantastic finish just there. For that score, just to finish, to make that 4-0. That's an absolutely lovely bit of footwork there. Number 12, Ellie Miles. Yeah, so Bronte's just gone straight. So Emily Irons and Bronte Sykes have both got them onto the front foot. And then Bronte's just got. We saw that a lot where the Sharks were driving through from the half on the scoop and then looking for support. Really, the support will be in and around that situation. Then Miles was just a metre or so behind, but of course when you're on the dead pass it's backwards, and that was just some lovely balanced play just to finish things off.
4-0 lead now then for the South East Sharks.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these players, as I say, with the South East Sharks playing with each other in terms of the game, and they're very whether it's club level, because all of those players I just spoke about, certainly Bronte Sykes and Emily Irons and Susanna Hudson, Susanna Hyvönen, they're all London Scorpions, so they're all from 1 or 2 clubs, and this is one thing that the South East in general are very good at doing. West Wildcats, their region is slightly larger because it goes all the way from the M4 all the way up to Stafford. So that is a long way. That's and especially if you're looking at trying to do the M6 on a Friday, if you've got a weekend's worth of training, I wouldn't exactly fancy much of that.
Well, I had to drive back down to Blackpool from on a Friday night a couple of weeks ago to cover the World Match Play. Spent 8 hours on that M6, so good God if they got to do that for training every single week. It's not something I'd recommend, but there's an opportunity here if they can get a penalty. It's a 6 again now, and they've got to really think, otherwise it's could be an interesting game in terms of running away from it. And here is an intercept. Away go the South East Sharks. And I think it's a try. It is. It looks like it's Karras Dunn who's just gone over for the try. Our second intercept try of the day, Chris.
That's really unfortunate for Georgina Dick there. She didn't have the Wildcats number 10. She didn't need to give that pass. That was a proper, not even a 50-50 ball. That was like a 30-70 ball to give. And when you've got 6 touches, is that if you're not going to score, it's really imperative that you keep hold of the ball and ask some questions of the defence to try and manipulate. The perfect situation to set things up there, the Wildcats, they just didn't need to give that for the score. I mean, that's a full 70-metre run from one end to the other.
Excellent stuff. We saw one in the men's game earlier on, and now we've seen a second one here on the stream. Again, apologies if it is a little bit jittery. Unfortunately, there is genuinely nothing we can do about it. Hopefully, as we say, get tomorrow. Oh, and there's a touch there. It goes into a touch, and once again, we'll take over.
Yeah, it's very easy for the situation to play what's in front of you. So if you've got all of those, the quad players who are defending against you, it'd be quite easy to panic a little bit, and I think that's what happened. Whereas they've just got to play the situation and just play for themselves as a position.
Here they come once more. Do the Sharks. Here's Emily Crow. An opportunity here. Once again, chancing, and here it is. It's a great chance there. Ellie Miles with the score. Livia Ray goes through, and it's...
Yeah, that was, again, the Bronte Sykes on the scoop and putting the pedal to the... You know, it's the thing that we spoke about in the first game was how difficult it is to defend when the attackers get going and trying to work back that 7 metres, particularly from the scoop off the floor like that. You know, we saw it with their previous score, and with that one, is an absolute master of picking the ball up at pace off the deck, which is no mean feat at all. Especially, I mean, the grass is beautifully soft, but it is, I'm not going to say greasy underfoot, but there has been quite a bit the past couple of days, if anybody was watching the test match over the last 2 days is concerned. You know, so she did really well, and it's just impossible for the Wildcats to defend in that situation. There's just too much pace in this Sharks midfield.
Opportunity knocks again though for the one and get this going, and there's going to be a penalty here, I think, for Ross.
Yeah, that's so. What you've got to do in the 7 metres is that the defence have got to keep advancing. You can't. The only point where you can start to drop back is when the touch is imminent. So if the touch stops being imminent, you've got to keep going forward again. That's the Sharks a couple of days of not maintaining their forward momentum. So there you go. The touch was imminent. Everybody started dropping back, and then they started having to come back. So this is what's called a Mexican standoff at this point.
Here for the Wildcats, they can try and get the ball out quickly, couldn't quite do so.
Yeah, it's a good bit of gunslinging trying to get the ball wide there.
Poppy Murray there was trying to get there on the outside. Opportunity now, Alicia Whelan. Get the ball wide out there, there's a touch, and that will be half time. So pretty much look there, and that will be half time here in this one. And as we say, women's South East Sharks have been doing absolutely outstanding work so far.
They've just been going through their paces, really. They've not been doing anything too special, but they haven't needed to. You know, their speed through the middle from the scoop is just, you know, ripping Wildcats to shreds from that 15 to 20 metre slot out. Got themselves with the interception, but you know, it's a pretty fair as far as Sharks are concerned.
Nottingham Rugby Schools now, Nottingham Central Rugby Schools.
Well, first and foremost is we want to give everybody a game, so we are an inclusive club, and we will search out opportunities where everybody who wants to play representative touch for the club can do. So that comes from those down to, I think our youngest player has been 11 this last season, up to, dare I say, Hobbo, I think he's 57 now. And that's what we are about, we're an inclusive club. But within that, we also want to be a club that wants to get better, wants to improve, wants to win things. And for us, trying to grow the top level of our club and getting better and growing our performances is also just as important.
No, it's good. Just shows how touch can be played by everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's a good selling point for the sporters in general.
Yeah, because I can learn more from him than other people because he knows what I'm like.
It's a facility for all ages to play touch rugby. As you can see with our training that we've got kids from sort of 9 and 10 up to me, who's quite old, over 50.
Representing Nottingham with England is great because the Euros were held here as well, so we had a really good support as well for my first Euros campaign.
I think it's been a part of our strategy, part of our plan, and we see the future. We want to get better as a club. To do that, we need to bring youth in to shift as oldies further down the line. I think it's also the fact that as some of the older players bring their families down, children, there's 3 or 4 of us here tonight with children, the strategy has also been really targeting schools, junior clubs around here, The summer league that runs each year now gets 100 plus under 15s in.
Well, we did something at school for it, and then we enjoyed it, so we decided to carry on.
We have a coaching setup here, I think, of 16 level 1, sort of at the intermediate level coaches.
What a good defender is going to do is come out and just run straight at them if they're going to front you up and they get something. If he just comes straight at me, we go underneath him, slow down the roll ball, he's either going to turn the ball over, drop it, or the ball's going to be slowed down so that the half can't get in.
And in addition to that, we've probably got another half dozen who are in the England frame who help out, and you'll see that tonight. Everybody's prepared to put their hand up and help, so it's not just about taking from the club, it's about giving back, which is fantastic. You'll see the mixing between adults and juniors. For me, from a junior perspective, that's one of the key things that we've done, is rather than separating out junior training every week, we try and mix it in where we can. And what you see from the juniors particularly is just they're growing in confidence and having to deal with players that are probably much more their senior in age and experience, and that's great for their own personal development as well as their physical development.
Help us learn new skills and improve during the game.
Everyone gets integrated together, all different levels, lots of coaching advice.
And it's just a great spirit down here. That's why I like coming down. We have a laugh. Although we take training seriously, there's always somebody to have a laugh and a chuckle with and enjoy it.
I think for me, probably I would focus the game on getting as many children coming down over the summer as you can. From a point of view of growing the sport, bringing as many children down with their parents and getting an all-inclusive, fun environment that anybody can have a go in. And focus on that, of building the baseline of as many players as you can. Don't worry about trying to go through the ranks and put the best team out there. I think build from the base upwards, which is how we started 5, 6, 7 years ago. And as a result of that, we're slowly chipping away at getting up the ranks.
Oh, it's such a shame to cut Chris Simon off in his prime.
He's refereeing to this game, wasn't he? Looks like he's over there on the far side.
He is over there in that far side.
I thought he was.
So we can lip read about about those tips from Nottingham Touch Club, about how they've grown and how they've managed to make themselves one of the top touch clubs in the country, and they have done it through a mixture of hard work and using the and building up the networks, particularly of the juniors.
Absolutely. Go. Second half is now underway. Opportunity here for the West Watford. They can get themselves going here, and opportunity. See if they can get it out wide. They can do. It would have been a chance there for Amelia Shales over on that far side, but she couldn't quite touch it down. But there is to the South East Sharks, and they'll be able to run away here and get an opportunity again to score.
Yeah, I was dating it either from 70 metres out. I think what we've seen with the Sharks, their ability to get pace on the ball, second touch and they're already up to halfway. So in this situation, they've got the Wildcats rolling in their defence. So it's fourth touch. They've now got 2 touches and 20 to play with for the 20 metres.
Well, you can see there. One of the players, I think that might have been, who was that on the far side there? Is there a touch on that? I think there was. But you could see there Susanna Hudson, who you mentioned earlier on, as one player to really look out for. She was there directing the traffic there and going, right, you go there, and we'll try and see if we can get through the middle. And they almost did.
She's an extraordinarily experienced player. She's played in Australia. She's played club touch in Australia. I think with a Manly club. I just have to double check that. But she's England Women's Open a number of years. So it's no surprise to hear her dominate, in terms of dictate where it is going to be in her team. And that's going to be a touch and pass there in terms of a penalty. So that's really from the Sharks midfield.
And when the Sharks look like, we saw this in the earlier 2 games where the team got the rolling subs and the sub plays, they look like they are much quicker than the Wildcats, and as such they're getting those more opportunities in order to try and eventually go and score.
So there's 2 really... The 2 most going to see we'll see this now as Bronte Sykes goes through the middle of touch.
Opportunity, there it is, a touchdown.
So that's the first one, and we've seen Sharks score a number of tries like that. Is when you've got to get the defence rolling back and scrambling, and you've then got the people who can then capitalise on that, get onto the and to side through. So we've seen Sharks, we've seen Bronte Cycle do that on occasions in terms of getting the ball off the floor to the end of the and then finding the support. The second one, and we've not seen this a massive amount of Sharks, what we've seen is Wildcats not be able to do this, and I don't like to come at it from a negative. The other one is when it's a little bit situation here, you get into a bit of a standoff, manipulate the defence, you're trying to pull them from left and right, overlap, and a bit of a mismatch. So this is where we're now going to, that was a heavy touch there in the midfield. So we're now going to try and see, now Wildcat need to run a couple of plays, maybe even the same play twice on a short. So maybe on a short, pulling the Sharks defence in, that's and then looking to spread it. Now there's no point in, so in that situation there, the pass didn't need to be given. You're running the play, but you know the touch is going to give the pass. You're not going to, you're not going to score it. So we now see them trying to set up a similar, and then probably on the, but then to run something.
Yep. Here they go again, trying to get through.
So this is now conditioning. Now all of a sudden, now on this one, now you can see on the Wildcat sub box, which is at a camera shot as we are, because what they did there is they ran 3 plays in the same direction. You pulled in the Sharks defence.
Yep.
That's the point to go left. And had they gone left, they've got
an opportunity there.
They've got space. They've got an extra player in terms of the overlap, and instead the same play 4 times or something similar 4 times.
Well, they've got a massive opportunity here because they've just got the turnover, and now they've got to try and be a bit quicker on into position here.
Yeah.
As they come forward once more. Looks like they're now onto Alicia Whelan, and then that ball's hit the deck, and again they turn the ball over, and again they have that opportunity there, but they just can't quite take it.
Yes, when you've got the difference in experience is quite much, particularly at level, because now the Sharks are not doing anything; they are just driving and to the ground. But you've seen there 3 touches and they've made 50 metres.
Yep.
That is the Wildcats are going to be blowing on that because it's to work back in defence. You're seeing them tracking backwards as opposed, and the problem is that as soon as you then turn your back to get that extra pace going, is that the Sharks are then going to spot that and they're going to attack you and to sprint past.
Well, Isabel Pennisard, we should say, was the last person to score a try for the South East Sharks, who currently do lead 6. And we've got about 15 minutes left to go. Here, as they're going to try and go through the middle, don't want to try and get this dead ball. Is that a try, or are they going to call that 6? They are. It's a 6th one there. The West Wildcats thought they had a try there, but in the end, it was just in time with a touch there on Charlotte McFarland.
That's where the referees are going to be on the naughty step as far as the crowd are concerned, because you want them to score. That was a really well created opportunity there for Wildcats. They just weren't able to finish it off. But conversely, the defence and what the difference between the defences is that Wildcats haven't been able to shut that down on the mirrored defence. They haven't been able to the players who then score. Whereas Sharks there were able to track the players, be alert, and were there to make the touch before the ball was down. So now Wildcats again have got a really good opportunity. You see they're conditioning the Sharks defence.
Yeah, they could get that ball if they could get that ball out wide. Unity, but again, it looks like that South East Sharks defence is really shutting any chance of it down. And now they're going to try and go in with a quick opportunity, and that's another tap. So they're going to have to come back. I think that'll be the 4th touch, so they've probably got 2 more to go. Charlotte McFarland again there, driving forward. And I tell you what, again, another one. Lauren Torley's been very good at dry middle and trying to create something here.
Yeah, so Lauren's got. I'll talk a little bit more about Lauren in a second at the end of this play, which is they've got a fresh set of 6.
Yeah.
Very quick word about Lauren Torley. She was MVP national in Banbury, playing really well for Thames Valley, and but also playing on the wing for DMP Durham Sharks in the Premier 15. So good player, and she's in the England Women's Open training squad as well, the high performance squad. So really come on in leaps and bounds over the last few months, and as I say, that cross-code ability is absolutely fantastic, and I'm not surprised that she's been. So the question is this a fresh set of 6?
It looks it, but it looks
no. It's a loss of control.
No, okay.
So it down. If the ball's played at by the defence at 6, but the referee rules that rebounded into the Sharks defender, and in which case then it's just a loss of.
It looked a fair call as Emily Crowe takes the ball up once more. And now here comes Isabel Pennis' opportunity. Game for the South East Sharks. Look how quickly they've been going there, and again, once more, the ball gets dropped on the goal line that time. I think it might have been Daisy Pank there that time that might have just dropped it, but you can see how quickly they got into position there. They were near at the end of it, and they still had a couple of touches to go.
They're playing a very, I think the best way of describing it is they're playing a very Australian style of women's open. I was watching the State of Origin, New South Wales against Queensland earlier in the year, and the men's open is very tactical in terms of that they'll get themselves into that area between that 7 and 20 metres out from the line, and then they'll look to use their jinking feet and that manipulation. About the women's open, it's fast, and you watch it, and it was just amazingly rapid. Sharks are playing very similar stuff, driving through, and they're really stretching. There's another, there's a
penalty, I think, isn't he?
Is that a penalty start Chris Simon's giving?
It looks it.
Yep. So what we'll see, Sharks had started running a subbing move, sorry. Try to speak English and not touch. We call it the boxing move because you have to stand in the sub. But so they're not doing, as I say, they're not doing anything complex. Of course, what that then means for the referees is that the referees will be looking to interchange rapidly as well off the back of when the Sharks after the Sharks have been attacking, because you'll be blowing as a referee looking to get back onside yourself.
We talked about it earlier on when the referees are in these games as well, as we hit the of this second half. 7-0 South East Sharks lead here against the West Wildcats.
It's a bit of an interesting mindset refereeing, because I've been refereeing a bit as well as co-commentating and doing all your social media and stuff like that over the last.
You're jack
few
of
weeks.
all trades, aren't you?
Master of Jarlath.
Don't say that.
No, I'm not big-headed.
Don't be modest.
My wife will tell you I'm never modest. Anyway, it's what's really is that before this year is. Before the latest version of the rules came out a couple of years ago, was that it was you would meters was the offside line, and at the end of this. So actually we've now seen the Sharks slow things down, and Susanna Hudson pulling the
she wants that offload there. That's exactly the way that they've been doing it most of the morning and most of the afternoon as well. Another try there that time for Isabel Penasard, and once again it's Susanna Hudson delivering what she normally does.
Yeah. So. Just a quick one is that what we see when Bronte Sykes has done that scoop, he's done it from further out and really just gone fast, and the Wildcats defence hasn't been able to keep up with that. What happened then is that Susanna Hudson went left, and then Isabel Penasir just all of a sudden at the last second just went, and it was just that little bit of acceleration just dropped her defender, because the defender was on her shoulder, and then she just lost her and created that try. Sorry, just to go back to the refereeing, is that 5 metres, but you were always told to extend it by a couple of metres. Actual 7 metres, it actually mentally it's just really it's harder to set the 7 metres than the 5+. I find it hard. Maybe I'm just on my own with that. Any of the other refs about that.
Well, to be fair, it's been a difficult day so far, in terms of the heat as well. I mean, I know it doesn't look very, very warm here at the moment in time on our stream, but the humidity out on the fields across it at the moment is absolutely ridiculous, and that's a nice little step there. Didn't get touched, but now she did. So that time there, driving through the middle there was Jules.
Yeah, that was a ghosting through, and that's a ghosting through for the.
Out. Another one there for the South East Sharks. They take another point.
Yeah, by that run from Jules Unsworth, just ghosting past the first touch before then
Laura Cockney putting the score on there, and that's another score for the South East Sharks. They're up to 9.
Yeah, this is you don't want games to be one side, but when you look at the two team sheets on paper, as I said, for people who are not regular touch watchers, is that it's the equivalent of if you were going to England probables
against England first team.
No, not even against that. I think if it's of the England Test. Well, no, actually, let's not use the England Test match team as an example on this. No, if you're going to say an England probables 15.
Yep.
Playing against a Championship 15, I think is the best way of likening it. Is that got some good players and a bit of experience, but they're just not as good as the Sharks setup, who, as I say, have been training through the winter as part of the high performance setup. They're very comfortable in the same team, very settled, not just at club level or international level, but they've also been familiar playing for the Sharks team over the two Emilys, Bronte and Susanna, have been in the Shark. I've been covering nationals I've been in the Sharks team all the way through that. So that you can't buy that.
Absolutely not. And there's an opportunity again there for Lauren Torley, who's been probably the best player so far, I'd say, for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think Wildcats shouldn't be too downhearted though. I think if they were making lots of mistakes and not getting out of their half and not asking questions, then they would be disheartened. But I think they have asked a few questions, have got to the 7 metre, they have got to where they need to do. They just haven't got they just haven't been able to unpick this Sharks defence.
Well, here's a question then. If we look at it from a Sharks perspective, obviously laying down a marker as you tend to say, and tell you what, here's Susanna Hudson with an opportunity again, trying to go back onto the inside. Good play, and it's another try, I think, or has he given the touch? He has been given the touch there. One chance there for Isabel Penissard to get herself a hat-trick, but unfortunately not so far. Just a quick one on the South East Sharks, as we talk about laying down markers in the first games of the day and etc., etc. They should be opportunities to probably pick up the title this weekend.
Yeah, I think we've got the Women's Open Derby to finish off the day, the Sharks Taipans, and that could very well be the final. Depending on how. I think this is one area where in the men, I think it's wide open. I know that we had the Taipans beating Saxons quite comfortably, but I think it's wide open. The two Southeast teams and the Tigers and the Blades. I couldn't pick out of those, especially with the result that we saw earlier on. But the women's side is that there is that between the regions, and the Southeast do dominate. They spend a touch in London, and because they've got those numbers, whereas outside London they don't really play. So let's look at the West my region in Northampton, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Is that you don't play a massive amount of single gender touch rugby because of the numbers.
But now an opportunity here again for the South East Sharks to get ourselves going. See here down the middle. Now looking for the offload there. It is. I think there's a try going to be given.
Yep.
Yes, there is. And once again, that brings them up onto double digits, and it's Emily Miles who goes over.
Yeah, what we're seeing, so on that scoop, what they've been really good at doing is for the supporting runner, the runner who breaks late to that supporting position. So it's not on the shoulder of the person who makes that breakthrough. It's they are 4 or 5 meters back and then accelerate into the space. And it's really good, these hand gestures, behind a camera. They're accelerating into that space, and certainly when they've been attacking and doing that scoop play from that 15, 20 meters out.
Opportunity. Can the Wildcats get over the line, get themselves a point on the board? A couple of people are mentioning it on YouTube. Apologies again for the stream. Unfortunately, as you say, there is nothing that we can do about it at this moment in time, but we are going to try and keep you across it all. That's a pass that just doesn't fall the way of Amelia Shale's way, and that will be a turnover. And with 2 minutes left to go in this one, the South East Sharks are winning this extremely comfortably. The big question now might be whether the West Wildcats can get themselves a point on the board as they come forward once more again into opportunity knocks for the Sharks again as Cochrane drives it on, and I think a penalty given here.
Just for overstepping the mark. That's one of the dangers when you are playing that fast drive, that you've got to make sure the ball is put down within that of being touched. Which of course could take you 1.5 meters, 2 meters to the biggest stride pattern is past the touch. So the Susanna Hudson's such a great player.
It was so quick to get out of that line and then basically stop any momentum in their tracks as Torley again drives on. Last touch on here for the Wildcats. Can they? No, it's going to be falling away from Amelia Shales out on that wing. And with just a minute to go, it looks like the South East Sharks are going to end the 40 minutes with no tries conceded.
Yeah, that's almost what you want more than scoring lots at the other end, is conceding. You get to take a nice bit of satisfaction about the nil on the other end of the scoreline. But Sharks have really laid down a marker in their first game of the weekend, and and as I say, I would fully expect them to make it all the way through to the final. Of course, try difference and tries scored is going to be crucial as well if they do happen to slip up.
Bronte Sykes again driving in there, looking for the offload, and once again it's been found. And it's another try. And the South East Sharks now really putting their opponents to the sword here, and it moves 11-0 in front.
Yeah, it's scoop, pace, score, repeat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
They haven't
at that time. We mentioned her at the start of the top of the broadcast that Emily answers one to what
to do anything else. They haven't had to really create. We've seen a couple of scores where they've attacked from close range, but it's a similar thing in terms of that scoop. And so job done, 11-0. They'll be happy with that. Wildcats, as I say, they've got themselves into half decent positions, just haven't been able to finish them off. But Sharks thoroughly deserve that.
South East Sharks 11-0 winners over the West Wild in a few minutes' time.
So that concludes one game. We now get ourselves set up for the next tap-on. You have less than 5 minutes for your next tap-on. Now on the next tap-on, just to make you aware, the 30-second warning will be some music. And at half-time, the 30-second will be some 3 beeps. A 3-beep warning for 30 seconds. Just there, put water or behind control if you need any water. There's water from the marquee, a cold tap in the gents' toilets if the gents want to go and fill up the water bottles. Also request from the club. There are 2 next to please do not use these. These are for a COVID bubble for international players. So please do not use the portaloos next to the quick or the car park or the camper to approach them. Please use all the toilets provided near the marquee. Please be aware that pitch 3 has now been changed to pitch 4. Pitch 3 has been moved to pitch 4. So recap, if you want any food, drink, it is more or less lunchtime. We will continue playing. It is lunchtime for those teams finishing. Get yourself some food or something to drink. Down at the footy starting, lots of water behind control if you need any water. Please do not use the toilets, the field or the car park and the caravan, the camper van, as these are for a COVID bubble and it's not associated to Midland Touch.
Chris, is it an interview or commentary? Oh, do you want a player then? Yeah, sweet. All right, yeah, cool. I'll see you in a bit. How do I get up, mate? Ladder at the back, is it?
In the game length, there's no lunch break, so if you've finished your game now, get yourself something to eat. We'll be back to yourselves very shortly. A reminder that there will be the time of 30-second warning, there'll be some music seconds, there'll be some silence, and then at the half-time there'll be a 30-second beat before the end of the half-time interval. 1 minute warning, players and officials, this is your 1 minute warning.
It's Chris Wearmouth on league commentary now for the next 40 minutes. Just giving everybody a little bit of a break during a long day of touch. We've got started at 10 o'clock this morning and we're going on till 5:30 this afternoon. We're into the second round of mixed matches now. The Northwest Luke against the Sharks, and we've now got them coming up against the Taipans. And the Taipans in their open matches, if I just quickly call it up, because we've got tens of matches playing today. And the Taipans drew 10-10 in their opening match against the West Wildcats earlier on today, and a bit of the complete opposite of a defensive masterclass, it sounded like. I'm joined by James Hurd, who's one of the coaches of the South East Sharks Women's Open teams. We'll talk about this game in just a minute, but quickly, just a very quick summary of the last of your performance.
Yeah, the girls ran. Obviously, this year's been a peculiar season, so training's been sort of crammed enough, not quite done enough, etc. But we've got a lovely blend, youth, energy, mixed in with some good experience, even though those girls are still young compared to me. And I think a lovely balance within the team. So yeah, game one, it's blown off the cobwebs. A few of the nerves hopefully have settled down now. We've got a solid 10-0. And we roll on to game two in a decent position.
We made it 11 up here.
Well, I've miscounted one then.
Just a very quick one about the driving. You had a very, as we see, we'll talk about that in a second, as we see Blades put a driving game together themselves. Off to the left, that's Sage Bannister there, just got the ball on the left-hand side. You didn't have to do much apart from the driving game in terms of the pace really made the difference.
Yeah, anyone who play touch or even any sort of team sport, when you come up against pace, it's a really difficult unless you've got a hell of an engine on you. So pace can get you in all sorts of difficult positions defensively, and as a result, a lot of our game there was and then just looking for one hole that's opened up because the defence is in a good shape. You end up having hopefully 2, 3, 4 holes in your life. So the girls just had a good shift in engines there, but they stuck to the pot, asked them to do the vibe in the box, and the team's really good. So yeah, really chuffed with that performance.
Speaking of pace, William Gaines from the Taipans put his team into a position with a lovely break there. But as you can hear in the background, it is a bit blowy here at Lady Bay on the banks of the River Trent. And if you can hear some cheering in the background, it's not because we've got a crowd of thousands. Within a couple of 100 metres of Trent Bridge Cricket Ground, and England playing India today in the first Test match, and that's why we think the feed is a little bit glitchy on the live stream with the 4G. But Taipans now have got a chance to build, and they've got a second chance to build with as they set play. That's Rebecca Maxwell and Libby Turner combining, CSC London Eagles combining with Galaxy London. What are they looking, James?
So obviously they're bringing their strike players on and just looking at set up a platform. So they're just running a quickie play there, and that's the first receiver. Defence isn't tight enough, and Colin Scott straight in for a pretty straightforward score there.
Congratulations to Colin Scott. He's going to get married soon.
He is, yeah.
Him and Nikki Marsh are
I
getting...
I know. It's about time, Colin.
Yes, that's making it 1-0 to the Taipans. Plenty of... it makes it sound like it makes it sound like Rugby family is hooked up with each other, because Maxwell are partners as well.
And my girlfriend's playing Opens as well. Katie Fielding out on the wing there. As a coach of the Sharks with the girlfriend playing for the Taipans, there are interesting conversations at home. But, we'll save that for off-air.
We'll see how that goes with the last play of the game today as the Blades go for. There's a lovely pass out there to Beth Redfern, but breaks down and is turned over to. For the Taipans to with a penalty restart. I think that pass just drifted forward. Yeah, it's going to be that's a big game to finish the day with, the derby there.
Yeah, I hope for both teams, because obviously both teams will have played 2 games early on in the day, so both teams will have a good feel. The cobwebs and the nerves will have disappeared with a touch of luck, and I hope, as he says, up in a commentary box position, it leads to a really good and high quality.
Fantastic defence there, diving play from Matthew Hawke, because Josh Bendel looks to be through. The England age group international. How much of a difference? We'll come on to the 40-minute in just a minute. We'll see how Taipans this plays out as Bendel goes and dives for the line, but just gets through. Mike Davis, has he been touched? No, Davis is giving that as a dive through. Good finish there by Josh Bendel, diving over from close range. The 40-minute. The difference between the elite national touch series at 20-minute games and these games at 40 minutes, even with hard as it been to get everybody prepped up.
I think it's quite a bit of muscle memory in a majority of players anyway, because we've been playing touch 40-minute games as is standard for a number of years now. So to cram in the extra games and 10-minute halves on the elite touch series, it's good cover defence, was interesting, and it was so stop-start. You'd play, you'd have a quick rest, then you'd have to start warming up again, then you'd play, quick rest, warm up again. This gives players a greater opportunity to properly recover between games, talk about tactics, what you've played, wasn't, and I hope will lead to a high quality of touch and a better standard overall. But in the elite touch series were very challenging for lots of reasons, but good fun as well.
As we see, we had Northwest Blades mixed open as the first game in the day, and they did look a little bit disjointed, like they've not had to do much, and certainly not to play in the same team very much. They've all come from a disparate group. So we've got Greg Cropper making the touch. He's been playing for Manchester Chargers. Johnny Liotta been playing NQ Rebels. And Millie Cullen there just making the touch on the wing. Turner there just getting the ball. There's a penalty for Cropper going through the middle of the ruck there. So it's a good chance for Taipans now to set play up in the Blades half.
Yeah, they've basically got a penalty on halfway, so they'll probably just run their tap-off play here. So they'll have a structure, they'll have a pattern they want to follow, and they'll look to strike the... That looks down.
That is the worst I think I've seen.
Yeah. Just don't do it if you can't do it. Simple as that. Says a man who can't do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm exactly the same. I'm going to try a little bit. James, just a step back at 3-0 to the Taipans with just coming up to 7 minutes on the clock. Getting themselves into useful positions, just not being able to finish them off.
Yeah, they're making good territory. They're finishing in the right part of the park, fifth in the right part of the park on the Taipans line, but they're just not quite able to finish the job off, as you say. But again, that might be fallout from the situation we've all faced this year and not having the training time that we... So yeah, they do look a little bit disjointed. Hopefully as the day goes on, they'll start to be able to put a few things together. Like I say, 40-minute games, they're going to have the longer gaps between games to put these small tweaks, put them right. So fingers crossed during the course of this game as well, perhaps they'll tidy things up.
Turner and Maxwell combine to get Josh Bendel onto the front foot, and Keisha is getting the Taipans onto the... Got some good momentum going forward. Matthew Blackett finds it out to Raymond Blythe, and just a little bit too far, Rebecca Maxwell.
Yeah, they made the strike dump there, probably about 9 metres out or so. They were a couple of metres shy of the 7-metre line. So momentum. So for me, they probably could have just trucked in with momentum, dumped on the 7 and given themselves a attack from. But still, they finished up in the right part of the park. The Northwest have got to make good yards to get out of their half.
And good pressure coming on from the Taipans in defence as well, really shutting down the Blades. And they're only going to have to play with 4, and the ball's turned over. Just in terms of how much you work on that defensive play to shut down the opposition momentum, how much time do you spend on that?
For me, defence is my favourite bit of touch. So I love midfield D and I love line D out, and I love sort of like as the team's driving out, making touch 4 within their half. For me, that's a massive win. So it's something that comes. I mean, there's obviously fitness is a core part of it. Hit up, trail ball inside. Oh, unlucky Colin. But yeah, it makes a massive difference. It's hard work, but it's a bit of a lost leader because you end up energy because you're not defending your line. So midfield is hard work, structure as well, good comms as well, because if you run a bit of a dog leg and someone gets around you, then all of a sudden you're all struggling. So yeah, midfield D and line D is second, but midfield D is definitely where games can be.
Why there was a turnover there, and Colin Scott's going to come in as the hub and drops the ball off to Libby Turner. She's pointed where to take the touch by Josh Bendel. Here now, Mike Davis having a quick chat with... It's one of those ones we'd love to have like a little ref mic on just to hear what's being spoken about.
We've got to get some player mode funny.
Maybe next year. Bendel fires the ball out wide. Is that a fourth try for the Taipans? Yes, it is. That was a lovely, just a range strike play from the Taipans. Josh Bendel flinging the ball out for... Can't quite see who that is on the far side in terms of... But a good finish by the Taipans. And the Blades this time are getting the penalty, and Cropper taps and feeds Liotta, two experienced in the midfield for the Blades, and they've pushed the pedal to the metal to break through, but just gets touched, and Liotta gets the ball off the floor. Now it's Cropper. Nurse off the deck. Wrong foots the Taipans defence. Wide out. And that's a lovely finish. Absolutely lovely finish there from Millie Cullen.
Yeah, the wing shot up with good pre-touch and shot up to take some of the space. and then the link had to sweep around to try and recover with the round. So yeah, they spotted the hole and delivered a good ball. It was a good finish as well. It's, like we were saying earlier, it's blowing a bit of a breeze out here, so these long balls are sticking well, because it is probably deceptively windy, but not blowing a gale, but there's certainly a stern breeze.
Yeah, it sounds like a gale with all of the microphones.
I'm just glad it's not raining, to be honest with you. I've said it now, haven't I? But
Yeah, you have. Yeah, Matthew Blackett, not the player on possession, but Taipans nevertheless are on the front foot. Blackett helped get his team into position, and that is a finish. Anything the Blades can do, the Taipans can do as well.
And that dive finish, such a skill in touch as well to be able to have in your arsenal. It's one I don't have, but to have it in those touches is you know, it's very often not. So lovely finish there from
Dan Ticehurst. You know, he's one of these players who's been in and around the England age group system as well. It's something that they look to practice a lot, especially
at the time. Say that's my excuse anyway. But
as a 42-year-old, I can appreciate. I think it's the old fellas unite up here.
I know, absolutely. Well, I'm still seniors, not masters just yet. But, you know, it's a long ball.
Oh, that's fantastic. What we saw in their first game is we saw that those were not sticking. It was the first, and that one is Beth Redfern, and that's a fantastic catch because that ball just died on her as it was reaching. But it was a good strength to get the ball out. And we saw the first game, we saw the Blades create a number of overlaps on their left and not be able to get them off. But this time, just that. And at 2-5, if Blades can hold out the Taipans on this next set, and that's Liotta's saying there's no touch in there, and that's just going to be. And again, this is where you really do want. There's a bit of back chat. Brendan Harrington is a referee who really does not take anything from players, is he?
There we go. There's case in point now. He does sub. Nearly penalised for it, and it's such a difficult call because Johnny Liotta there might have felt like he didn't touch the player, but the player might have touched Johnny. The attacking player might have touched Johnny. So you can call no touch, but the way it counts, good hands, or unlucky. And that might be what the grumble was about. With I think is it Josh Bendel there? Yeah, the touch. Hence why it still counts. Another penalty. There could be another sub coming here as well. 2 penalties on the line.
These are new rules in the set of rules of touch.
Here we go. That's back chat, I think.
For sub cropper. Yeah, that's a forced sub, I think, for, as you say, by the looks of it. And the next penalty, we'll see if there is another penalty. Well, there won't need to be because that's a score there for the Taipans.
Yeah, 5-2 up. You're looking at the Northwest there, getting players sub for back chat and things, and then you go and get your score. The two teams are in very different places right now. Northwest Blades really need to cool their heads a little bit, stick to their policies, focus on the basics, and get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, that was James McGee on you say to stay very, very calm. Because they've played some good touch, they've got themselves into good positions.
Yeah, we've seen it. I mean, the scores have been good. Like lots of times they finished up in the right areas on the Taipans try line. They've just fallen short on a couple of occasions, and they just need to, you know, not get sucked into a mental grind here. Just focus on themselves, be a bit selfish, clear their heads, stick to patterns, play the touch that they want to play, and let that do the talking rather than talking to the refs. But they seem to have calmed down a bit now, and hopefully, if they get a score, they're coming up.
For the Taipans, putting the pace on. And that's a 6 touch, half touch, definitely a turnover touch. The Blades have held out.
How long have we got left? About 3.5, 4 minutes or so.
So you're starting to think about what to say during the half-time break. Is that if you're the Blades, is it more about just keeping cool?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as a coach this year with open setup, you're constantly, as you come into the half, what needs to be said as well, that's equally important. So here I would certainly be getting the team to just have a drink, take a minute, calm down, have a breath, through some of the positives that we've done, look at the couple of tweets, and then gee the troops up enough before we go back on that they're ready in minutes, but just refocus their minds a little bit on the job in hand, because you know, if your head's not in it, the game can get away. Taipans at the moment still looking good. Their subbing off isn't quite as fluid as they would probably like, and I think that'll be something they'll be talking about at half time, because as we saw early on, when they had good momentum coming on, they gave themselves cracking platforms to strike from. So I think Taipans will be wanting to, and Blades probably just want to cool their heads a little bit, get back to the patterns and the policies that they want to run, and then the second.
Blades getting some pressure. Johnny Liotta and Greg Cropper, both of them were forced subbed on their own line, and this time Liotta, they're combining the two, and that's a lovely flick on Liotta being out wide. But while those haven't come on, little intricate interplays. Seen the Blades score both in their previous game against the Sharks, and also that time that little offload there to Cropper, and you can just to finish it off there.
Yeah, it was a lovely little switch, and it's very different running out, chasing hard, and you see someone, you know you could be toast, and they executed that really well. Liotta hit it absolutely lovely, so and Greg finished it off nicely too.
For Blades having to stop the Taipans scoring, because they've been guilty of conceding after having.
You often follow in 15s rugby, you know, if you score, then D out your score, you know, seal it up. And it's so true in touch, because the amount of games that are ding-dong, score for score either, very often the first team that can stop a score coming. And so, you know, Blades will take some real positivity out of stopping that drive. They've got good momentum subbing on here now. Oh, that ball could have done with going down on 5th. We've lost all momentum. It'll be very tricky to run a score off this, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, that one just gets shut down very quickly. Ellis Povey, I think that just slowed things down, and Libby Turner gets the play going. Now it's Keisha Raymond Blythe from CSSC London Eagles. This is a side which has got plenty of Eagles experience through the heart of it. And Brandon Oon starts the ball wide, and that's just straight through the hands, and that's all there for the Taipans. For the team from the southeast going into the last 30 seconds of this first half.
Yeah, good score that. Good momentum coming on. They knew what defensive wing just needed to probably stay out and let the link get beaten if what was on, but they bit in. Taipans read it to the wing, and they dot down for the score.
So just coming into the last play or two of this first half, and Taipans are well in control against it. They're looking to finish off this first half on a high. That they can't do. Touch comes in, and we'll have more from Lady Bay in 5 minutes' time with James Hurd from the South East Sharks Women's Open coaching team just after this short break.
Brings on half time, so just a reminder, if you are after any food, get yourself down or there is water behind.
First of all, you've got to be incredibly passionate about the sport and put a lot of time and effort in to raise awareness and create enthusiasm and a buzz around your touch club. Number two, it has to be fun. You get, one chance to make a first impression, and when people come, they've got to feel that they're having a good time, and it's all inclusive. And the third thing now, I would say, is you've always got to be promoting, and you've definitely got to look at social media. We are exploring Facebook ads, and we're promoting like mad all the time.
Get as many people involved as possible, give them the opportunity to play, and give them the opportunity to enjoy it. We started out and it was just all about having fun to begin with, and once been playing for a year or so, that's when we really decided to take things on to the next level.
I think it's just having patience. It's not going to come overnight. If you can keep your senior players engaged, as well as constantly looking to develop and introduce new players, because you're always going to get players who leave for one reason or another. Having that conveyor belt of talent to come through is really helpful. You just got to work hard, and it will pay off in time.
From a point of view of growing the sport, bringing as many children down with their parents and getting an all-inclusive, fun environment that anybody can have a go in, and focus on that, of building the baseline of as many players as you can. Don't worry about trying to go through the ranks and put the best team out there. I think build from the base upwards.
So I'd say to keep your competitive side and your social side. Don't go too much down one avenue of having solely one or solely the other. With the social side, your performance side always sort of flourishes with this, and also vice versa. It's always good to have the competitive side and part of it knowledge on your social side.
keep the player base interested. It's not all about, right, I want us to get from A to B and we're going to do it with these steps. We're going to coach this and then that. Keep it a bit fluid. Like, you don't always have to start off with loads and loads of drills to get people into playing touch. I mean, you can just play just rugby, netball, something simple. Just get people used to handling a rugby ball. Not everybody has come into this sport playing lots of rugby. They may not have the same hand-eye coordination that others have. Just get everyone onto a level with some more casual games.
Second half coming up of North West Blades against South East Taipans. In the Taipans drew their opening game 10-10 against the Wildcats, and the Blades lost their opening game against the Sharks. But I don't think we're going to see a repeat of that 10-10 as far as the Taipans are concerned. My name's Chris Wearmouth. I'm joined here by James Hurd, who's one of the coaching team from the South East Open, and also played with Surrey Bisons series this year as well. Talk about the Elite NTS, and just a quick one about, because
and then gives them a score to start really closing the gap.
Taipans, having conceded, now get straight onto the front. Blythe from the Eagles, and now it's who's that who's just dived through for the score? That's so normally refereeing as well, so the name escapes me at this moment in time. You'll have to excuse me, but a dive, little finish through the middle. And having scored first, is not able to kick out. And that 4-try margin is continued.
Yeah, again, we spoke about it in the first half, that dive finish, that was the difference there between a score and not. So a cracking finish by the Taipans.
Yeah, Matthew Blackett there on the score for the finish. The unmistakable pilot.
Easy.
Blades goes straight onto the front foot on the 7, running a strike play. Out to Matthew Hawkrigg, and he sends the ball back on the inside, but that's shut down by the Taipans midfield. Colin Scott dictating play. Brandon Oon takes it forward, back to Colin Scott. Brandon Oon off the floor to Libbyton. That's shut down by the try scorer, 2-try scorer, Millie Cullen, should I say. Raymond Blythe then takes it further forward. Youth and experience in this Taipans mixed open team. Dominated, I think, more experience. Josh Bendel is one of the youth. Falls definitely into the youth part of that.
Yeah, definitely.
But this time the Blades do what they couldn't do in the first set of defensive plays. Shut the Taipans down, and they get onto the front foot again. Cropper.
Good defence this, good midfield.
And Liotta just off the floor, and now back to Cropper. Some nice diving touch there by Josh Bendel. He's a long-limbed Josh Bendel, and puts everything. That's twice on the two veterans. Diving touches on Cropper, and then Liotta. Liotta was just stepping away.
Yeah, they're really impressive touches. I mean, it's all or nothing that when you get that close, but he's made both of them, so that's a hell of a defensive shift by Josh.
And also good attitude as well, considering they've got a comfortable lead.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, as a coach, that's another thing you want to pay to do the ugly stuff as well as the sexy stuff. You know, it's this could be a good finish.
Talk of sexy stuff. Talk of sexy stuff. That dive is out of the playbook there for Matthew Blackett. He was close to the ground for his but that one was a winger's score over in that far corner. All of a sudden, Taipans are out.
Sash has definitely earned his wings there, didn't he? That was
he did.
An awful dad gag as well, but you know. You've got to throw him in there every now and then.
Oh, you do. But he'd definitely be giving flying lessons.
We're continuing with him, are we?
We are. Millie, but this time she's shut down by Rebecca Maxwell. And Taipans will look to get some momentum. Brandon Oon's coming off already as Taipans run a play through the middle.
So this is where Blades just need some good work rate in midfield. They want to get up and take space, so rather than just let Taipans run at them, they want to get up and take away the space. So here you want to see get on the 7, get on line, and then get up, take yards off them, and they're giving them too much there.
We've seen Josh Bendel's seeming extendable arms on the touches in his own half, and this time, it's at the right time and with the right skill, to take the Taipans into double figures just with that dive. That was a really good patient build-up from James McGee there in particular.
Yeah, like I say, Blades were just dropping off in defence a bit, which gives Taipans the momentum. And then as they're running through, a late switch there, and Josh can just catch a little dolly ball and pretty well fall over for the score. But first, Blades going off with a good bit of intent. They've come off the boil a bit now, and Taipans have gone, what is it, 3 or so unanswered. So the momentum's definitely shifted here.
Interesting mix-up from the Blades now as well is that they've split the Cropper Liotta, and Cropper is on, and Liotta, that seems to be paying dividends because Millie Cullen has a hat-trick.
Yeah, that is a score. She got that ball down well. And I think it's probably a wise move from the Blades there, separating Greg and Johnny, because they'll have different threats and different options now over 2 pods rather than 1. So I think that's probably a wise move, that.
14 or so minutes to play on our unofficial clock. If you happen to ever be at an England Touch event and want to know how long's left to go and anything, just go and see Mitch, because he has this set up on his laptop just 20 minutes all the way through the day. I think he just gets it going at the start and just leaves it all the way through. And if you are watching in the neighbours, I'm very sorry for our neighbours here at Lady Bay. As Colin Scott, but that one doesn't go down. I was here for a soup event a couple of weeks ago, and we actually had to noise because of the PA through the day.
Oh, really?
PA. So you can imagine what they'll be thinking by the middle of the day tomorrow with all of the hooters going off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do live right at Trent Bridge and Nottingham Forest ground as well.
Yes. This is a proper hub of sport here in the heart of Nottingham, because we've got Lady Bay, which is the home, and 200 metres away we've got England playing India in the first test match, and we can see the City ground as well, and there's Meadow Lane just over Trent.
Yeah, they really cram the sport into the city centre. A lot going on.
There is, and then when you throw Nottingham Arena in as well, as you see Brandon Oon, but I think he's been touched on the way through there. The try's been given by Brendan Harrington. As the
so the so that's the saver mid there. We'll get a bit tighter and deal with that and deal with the threat there. But if it's presenting and Taipans can take it, they are, and that's why they're building up this comfortable second half lead.
How much is fatigue starting to play a part as well? This is now the third 20-minute half these teams would have played.
Well, I mean, at opens level, you know, this is mixed open. It shouldn't really be kicking in yet, you know, second half of game 2. By game 3, arguably, yeah, you could understand why there might be some tired legs by the back end. But for me as a coach by now, I'd still be wanting the players to run hard and put in a shift. They'll have prepped for this during the week, you know, good sleep, good nutrition, bit of stretching. We haven't played as much for you, but, you know, these are somethings, he says. And they should be able to cope with now game 2 of a 40-minute match, especially with the numbers they've got. That looks like a score. Yeah.
Plenty of teenagers and 20-somethings on the field, but that time it's a veteran.
Yeah.
Johnny Liotta. You know, he may have. He's not showing many ill effects of his years, does he?
No, and I mean, you know, I'm sure he got bashed about. We bashed a few people about as well. Look at the size of him when I played against him. But no, he's a heck of a. It's a big old rig he's got to shift around the pitch, but he does it very well. He's very smart with his energy use, and not necessarily has anything to do with his size. He's more to do, efficient. He's him to cancel to course of 3 over the ball. You do that over a course of a day, and you probably yourself, you know, 10 in defence energy. So yeah, I think with experience and now.
Blair and where he can tie his shoelaces a little bit tight. Blades. That's been given as a loss of control. They're calling for that to be play through. Not on this play because he's coming off, but Rebecca Maxwell finds her clubmate Colin Scott. Certainly 3 Eagles on the field at the minute. 4, I think Brandon Oon's an Eagle as well.
Yeah. Yes, isn't it? They play for each other. With Monzi as well. He's a really good lad, good long ball. Well read, Colin. Good finish as well.
As Catherine Insole, unmarked on this near side, makes a mistake. Capitalise on that overlap.
Yeah, nice little a bit of an out. He's just read the defence. The option was, and Wingers finished it off.
As Croppers are again in the midfield for the Blades.
Yeah, really. Actually, went to the elite mixed seed, something like 60 rounds. Around the 15th, 16th mark, so we were either on par with our sort of seeding or a position above. Round, I mean, I don't know what we all had for dinner the night before, but we ended up winning our group, which put us in the top 8. And that looks like a touch. Yeah, good dive though. Worst we could finish. We were 7th. With really happy with the performance. So if anyone's in the Surrey area, hit out at touch, then have a little look for Surrey Bisons. I can do a shameless plug there, can't I?
Well, you'll have to tap up Charlie Steed and his contacts with the university.
M. Oliver at the university. So yeah, we're forming good links, and yeah, the club had a really good penalty coming if it's not us to score.
Handed score there, given, but yeah, you're right. That was at least a penalty. If not a pen, you could have conceivably given a penalty try.
Yeah.
Have penalty.
And it gets given as a penalty rather than play through sometimes. So I'm boozled when I'm striking, and the refs call one thing, and then a game later they call the opposite. But equally, it's a very difficult job refing. I'm a level 1, but yeah, they do have a tough job on their hands, and thank them for all the work they put in during these good at the refs. So yeah, and that's a fair penalty. Yeah.
Really canny play there from Josh. Caught and diving over, and I think there's I'm not sure there are going to be too many handshakes for and Liotta, who both game as well. And Taipans are running away with this one a little bit.
Yeah, 13-6. I mean, pretty happy with how this has gone. The first half, you know, if Blades they've stuck to them and they 10 scores, it's ridiculous. And then 13 in this game, you know, 23 scores so far from 2 games is a good to build on. But conceding, what are they on now? 16 over 2 games. They'll want to tighten that up a touch, but decent teams, they'll be happy with that from 2 games. Just want to sharpen up and give.
Sam Grinter just got touched in the 6th touch there. I think it's from the benefit same club as the heart of the team, but you know, this Blades team has been drawn from a good 4 or 5 different clubs up in the north. Got one of the many CSSC London Eagles in this outfit, and it's a 6th touch turnover. Blades get the drive going. Ellis Povey up to the half.
Just giving it a go for collapse and do horizontal options, and the defence can cover all the holes. So little fatigue kicking in as well towards the end of this game.
Matthew Hawkrigg just getting touched for the 6th touch turnover. Libby Turner, part of Galaxy London. She's not but a shooting star. Anyway, a couple of the Eagles, Josh Bendel and Blythe as well.
Great footwork from the scooper. Oh, touch called.
Touch turnover.
We're here, but look close.
The closing stage about wanting to helping play got proper takes up play to that halfway line.
Now this is better. So that's 4. This is touch 5 come in. You just want to pick your player, drop. Don't kill it on 5th. Don't get touched.
Hugh Spencer.
That touch on strike, but a dump where he could have had a strike, an attack, and that's 6 and turnover. You see, and they line this number count and drop on 5th.
And that's that little bit of disjointed. As I say, in terms of the lack of, just that little bit of inexperience there from the youngster.
Blades with an opportunity here. Those ball goes to ground.
Mount takes play on. And now it's off the Ellis Povey, one of the England youngsters, one of the many England youngsters who touch in the northwest. He gets the, it comes in this time, takes the 7. That's good cover defence there by the Taipans.
Yeah, it was a sweeper pickup play. Wing there for Taipans, read it well.
Sam Grinter just took the play up to the dead ball line, did everything right, but just unmarked support players, and it's Taipans. Now we'll build going Blades. Collins puts back swing for the side. It's a fresh set of 6. The ball was played at. Says referee Mike Dave. Is that? No, that's Lee Massey in the middle. Sorry.
Yeah, ball touched.
15 seconds of a track just before the game starts. Cricket, we're currently being live streamed on the cricket when it's in between overs. So if you are on pitch 1, always professional. Okay, so the camera, players and officials, it's your 1 minute warning. Your 30-second warning will now be a blink.
30 seconds.
Welcome back, Lady Bay. A very windy Lady Bay still this afternoon. As South takes his leave for a little bit off commentary. As we get ready ourselves for this next game between the men's. We've got ourselves the Midland Tigers and the West Wildcats. Matt joins me up here in the commentary box. Matt, you've got to be hard. This is a brilliant. What a tash, by the way. First of all, talking about the tash last time round here this afternoon, it's not doing too badly. You know, good performance there as well for you in the mixed load then between yourselves and Northwest.
Actually, yeah, it's 40 minutes game. It's a lot longer, but yeah, we had some great D in that game and lucky finished off a couple of tries.
What a straight away. Oh no, it almost was. I thought it was going to be a score straight off in the end. Josh heads on, goes over the top a little bit, but unfortunately can't quite. Midlands Tigers get themselves on there. You talked about it there, actually, that 40 minutes. You know, the difficult isn't probably to play.
With men's learn from touch, really quite fit, but yeah, I think just keeping your head in it for the full 40 and not just checking out after 20 minutes, like getting distracted and laying a couple of scores in. It's very important.
Midlands Tigers, and it was just a little bit too much there, and unfortunately for them, it's going to be 7 for the West Wildcats. That's what we've seen in particular as well for a couple of games, is that especially when the subs come on, particularly when the subs go on, this is really important. Anything there.
They don't have that momentum, and that creates the gaps. And if you've got no half there or something goes wrong, something isn't in the right place, it just stops it, and the defence can get back on, push up in your face, and yes, stop your momentum going, and it sort of ruins a play really.
Penalty to the early one. Actually, both try to get that ball moving, and I guess that's really crucial because the quicker you can obviously get on there, so and then you need to score.
And put the others on the back foot.
They're wanting a touch there again. I think they're going to get it.
Very good defence, I must say. They're getting those touches on the lines. They're shot quite hard.
They're all opportunity here. They scrambled up. Opportunity for Luke Milsom, who now moves it again back to Lawton Davis. Opportunity here for Brennan. Where's he going over? Let's try. Look, the referee there. It looks like it. I think they're giving it. West Wilds. But it was close.
Yeah, it's a good score there. We've seen a couple of scores, but it's all about the millimetres. If there's someone out on the line, just got to get on the. It's a good job.
One said actually. Game.
Ominous for the Midlands there.
Well, there's opportunity. Really, West in seconds, and just for us. But I'm afraid for the fans out there, Bobson. The Wildcats look to try and build again against you, hasn't it? Really?
There's about 2 or 3 sets of 6. And if you've given them so many chances and they haven't taken it, then you can be pretty happy with yourself.
There's a penalty given, I think, once more for offside. Excellent. But we are through the first half. It is 2 apiece. And it's very, very tight and tense, I think, is probably the right word. Very tactical gameplay thus far as John Weston Stanley tries to bring the ball forward. He'll have to offload that, and then it's all...
the player dropping back early.
Oh, they got it.
I think that might be...
It's going to be a penalty. It is. Here come the West Tigers once more.
That's good pace on the ball there, so when you play got the pace, it's rolling. You've got at the opposition 7-metre line.
Yeah.
1 or 2 touches left, and you've just got to focus to play and execute.
West Tigers, excuse me, over NRL side. It's the Midlands Tigers I was thinking of. What team in black, and that looks touch, and I think that's what is going to get given.
I think he just got his body in there. It's coming off after that.
Doesn't surprise me. It was quite a heavy touch then, but
this is the men's comp. Usually a bit more. The touch is a bit harder. I wouldn't say violent at all.
No, they're not going to go full contact on all of a sudden, but no. But this is a. And Tom Wells scoring just yet. Chance here as Ben Powell comes forward.
It's a nice scoop, but no one was near him. It's running a sweeper.
Opportunity.
He's got the ball over the top.
Nobody there. I think there would have been Dan Powell there trying to get the ball over the top, but it's going to be another turnover ball done there. Now, Samuel on the ball. Can he...
The Midlands are doing well on that. They're pushing them back.
That will quite get the job done there. And going to be another over.
Exhausted.
And that's a falls loose anyway there from Liam Halpenny. So it's going to be a turnover once again. And Chan and Samuel trying to link up. Samuel and him. Tried something there, but Alex Scott just couldn't quite do that. And that sorts of games when you're involved in these sort of tight, tense battles, do you really worry a bit more? Does it obviously a bit worry more? Because one mistake could really hurt your team, and especially when you're not getting as many try-scoring chances.
Yeah, it's in our first game, it was a 10-all draw, which is very tense, very quiet in the sub box. And
Tom Wells, that is a fantastic ball. Tom Wells gets his second of the game. Pull that forward.
It's those fine margins in these games.
Tight in this game between the Midlands Tigers and the West Wildcats. 2 apiece as we are half away from half time.
I think we were talking about it's going. So you're looking at left to right. I've gone out with a bit.
Given ball away. Now they're going to go straight through the middle, but it looks dry. It is. Who's been very today, and he's finally got his reward, and he's going to get himself
going to the short side. The defender looking the wrong way. Couldn't make the touch. The touch are there.
But it's like in the half. Does well. Really involved in this, as has Harry Missing, and he's missing again. Can he get the pass out to Wells? No, he can't. Alex Scott just decides no, and takes that ball.
Right to get the ball over.
I presume that's the reason why when you want to set those wingers up, don't you? In that way, they always want to be absolutely. Missing's been very involved in this first half. Back across it goes to Powell.
It's 5th coming here. We've got to set something up.
And there's the 5th. In comes Wells, looking, missing, drops the ball, and it will be a penalty for offside. That's going to hurt the West Wildcats just before half time.
That's what I was saying earlier. He's done all the hard work, and then one.
It's a go for a 4th try for Tigers.
Some lovely feet there. Just stood the defenders up on the line and just dived underneath. Expecting the back
with a great level. Was that a try?
It's touched 5th as well.
Yeah. That's something. I think it was Jackson Chan who has been really, really instrumental in this first Cats opportunity. Time gone
and you can key timing because the buzzer goes, you don't get the right to reply. Really,
it was turned on. I think it might have been lost control.
I think that was a touch penalty.
And here comes Samuel again. Samuel and Chan have been working together in this first half for the West Wildcats. And he rolled off the pitch there, did Chan. And it goes first good. Midlands West for 3. We're now going to look at what happened at schools.
Started back in 2012. Year to year, we've always been lucky to have people who came like, okay, I want to take on everyone else. So when we can pass it down through year to year, it's always great to sort of be looking forward to the future. And unfortunately, I've been here for every year of it, so says a lot.
We have a bunch of sessions aimed at people with lots of different abilities, and it caters to anyone who's a beginner, from our development sessions all the way to our performance squad, and having a really good setup with coaches and everyone just supporting each other is what makes it a really good family team.
Our competitive touch, we can step up a standard. We've got Matt Davis, who's been great coaching us all.
You learn a lot in the games and they're just really helpful, and they'll just like to say you could do this next time, and they're really helpful, just giving you little tips and pointers.
our first year started really small. We only had about 40 or so members, and then regularly we had about 25 come to sessions. Through the years now, we're looking at about 90 members. We've got a lot of people just wanting to come down, play a bit of social touch, and then we've got people who want to play competitively. And obviously with England Touch, it's progressed as a sport over the last few years, so it's great to be able to influence this in the university game.
When I was looking to BU, or a part of university I was choosing, because it's such a huge part of my life. I've been playing for nearly 11 years now. The level is higher than what I expected just because I've come from such a high intense level. So everyone's really welcoming. The game is good, the competitions are good. At UTS I've played in 2 of them so far. Unfortunately I was injured for the other one.
The standards stepped up over the years. I remember playing in the first UTS, and it wasn't a bad standard by any means. It was a bit more rugby based, but now through the years it's progressed. There's a lot more skill based in it. You've obviously got the number of teams who are entering into it is incredible, and obviously at Loughborough it means that we can put in 2 teams. We're looking at getting a 3rd team for future UTSs. When you hear about Loughborough Rugby, now sort of to be considered with that is obviously such a great thing for us.
So my first year playing touch rugby, and I think one of the best things about it is it's just a really social thing. Like so many people, like loads of different people turning up and playing touch, and it's just great to get to know all of them. Loads of different backgrounds, just a load of fun really, just meeting a load of really great kind of like-minded people.
This is Loughborough Students Touch.
Great to see the University Touch there, explaining what they've been getting asked. Matt Blackett is still with us here up in the commentary position, and we are very, very close to getting underway for this second half. It was a very, very tight first half, which Midlands Tigers just edged.
Yeah, just got that score before the buzzer, and West Wildcats, sorry, just couldn't get that reply. 1 down. It's very close though. Anyone could win this.
Women's are going to be up on the stream next, but right now we have to decide who is going to win this game. We can't decide it, the players can, so let's get back underway. And we are back underway once more here. I guess already here. They're going to go in, I think, straight away. That they are.
Called a touch there.
Oh no, they're not.
It's a very good recovery touch, if that was.
It looked like that was straight in there for Ben Linari.
I thought we were going to have our first 2-point lead.
It's 4-3. Fortunately, we can't seem to update the scoreboard for you at the moment, but it is 4-3. And there's a touch there on Tom Simpson for the Wildcats. It's going to be the 5th touch. Opportunity again, and I think they're going to get it. They are.
They scored on earlier, looking for the sweep, but then coming back and have someone run that. That nearly worked. Defender just got his hand out.
So it is 4-3. There's a touch there again on trying his best to try to get through and level this game up. Once more, here come the Wildcats, looking to go left, looking to go right. There's going to be a try this time. And once again, it's Josh Henderson for his 2nd of the contest.
They're trying that play every time. They go for a sweeper. The dummy picks up that trail ball. There's no defender. So upper line. Some good pace on there. Throw it back onside. Players with a lot of pace. Ball. Good hands. Could be in for a score. Great touch there. Just got him on his calf as they're going for the line.
Opportunity here. We will get the stream back to you. We do apologise about this, but here comes left-hand side. Now looking to go towards the halfway line. There was a bit of a touch there, but it's now going to go forward again. Onto the third touch now. Wells once more back on the halfway line as the West Wildcats have to retreat, but he'll go through to, and that was a touch. And I think he's going to call that a heavy touch, I believe.
It's more of a shoulder tackle than a touch, I would say. From Rob. They're setting up quite far away from the 7 here. Running an ML, stepping out. It's a good touch. That's where if they set up close to the line, close to the 7 metre, then they can have a dive for the line to get back, or they set up outside.
Well, we're back on TV now. We don't have to do radio anymore, so that's all. If we go back to 4-4, and we got it back to the right stream on the scoreboard.
So Midlands are subbing on a few players, getting a fresh attacking set of numbers with that penalty. Will we see a dive here? Ball was down. I think one of the players was offside, and that's given. The Midlands have got one back.
They do, and it is now 5-4. And it is Clark Hobson who goes over for another try. I mean, it's gone now here. And that now 5-4 it is to the Midlands Tigers.
Should have just left it from before.
Exactly. We didn't need to. We predict the future now on these streams. As here come the West Wildcats again, and it looks like it's going to be close here. That's a bat down there, and I think that's just going to be 6 again.
Have to do some more defending in the Midlands.
As here comes Tom Simpson again, who's been so into the second half. He gets the ball across to John Weston Stanley.
That's a great name. John Weston.
You do. You feel important when you surname. I've said this before. And again, who's looking for a hat-trick, not going to get it, and there's a touch there on the winger on the far side. And that is Sam Lawton-Davis. Henderson's been very, very good today. And here come the West Wildcats again. Obviously, the half can't score, so he has to try and push this back. A good defending there by them, as that is going to be a turnover.
To 6, so we're pretty happy with that. Now get to the box and get some fresh players on. The confusion there over who's taking the ball in.
Wells is trying to direct traffic again. Remember, he's already scored 3 tries in this afternoon's game. Here comes Missing. Up once more. It's going to be the 5th tackle. And so the Tigers are going to have to try and deliver something here. Down the outside. Oh, that's absolutely superb. But can't score. Oh, goodness me, there was someone there on his outside shoulder, but he just didn't quite get the ball across there, Matt.
Painful to watch. You've done all the hard work. You're in the end zone. Yeah, just couldn't find the pass.
Matthew Maynard will be gutted about that one.
You've got to get back and defend as well.
Absolutely. And now here come Cats. Can they deliver breakers? Alex Scott will bring the ball across, and now Milsom.
Some good yards, getting the momentum back in it.
Really good touch there, I thought. And here is a touch that time on Sam Lawton-Davis. And Midlands Tigers survive just.
It's a bit of a playing on.
Yeah, and here comes Wells again. Contact once more. Well, touch contact. There's going to be a turnover, and it's going to be a penalty.
It's over the mark, so he got touched, took a few too many steps, and then put the ball down.
Here come with 12 minutes left of this contest. They've got to try and find something here if they can level this contest up, and then can they go ahead again? They've been ahead twice before in this game. If you're just joining us here on England Touch Rugby, that was a bit of a good take there from Samuel. Scott's, they're going to go for it, and I think it's the 5th. He didn't.
It's nice dive into the corner. Just try something, but good effort, yeah.
Samuel tries to play the long pass out there. Tim Hughes can't quite get it. And it's going to be another turnover.
Midlands defence is holding out here. They're doing have a good set of couple of defences on the 6 phases, taking them the whole way.
That they are. It's a moment in time to do so. And you think if you're from the West Wildcats right now, you'll think really well here. We've created that many opportunities, Matt, but we're not scoring them. And at the moment, just the clinicalness is letting them down.
Yeah, they're getting up there. Good field position on that last one. Touched over half, but yeah, couldn't finish it. And that's been the story of this game, really, for them.
There'll be another penalty for offside here, so it's going to be 6 more for the Tigers. And if you think that if they can score here, then that's a try given. 6-4, it now Midlands Tigers.
There, he's got right underneath him.
And it is Will Lupton, excuse me, that has gone in over that point. And it's a 6-4 lead now for the Midlands Tigers. And in this tight game, as we approach the midway point of the second half, you've got to think that that could be a real crucial moment.
To get the really tight game with 10 minutes to go, it's looking good. West Wildcats needs to have a quick reply.
They can find it, then they'll be in a very, very happy place right now.
If they can go back to their fake sweeper with the trail ball that was working from earlier.
So what does that mean with the fake sweeper in the trail ball? What, for people who are new to touch, what does that mean?
So they'll take the dump touch, and one of the links on the far side will come round. They'll dummy it to them, but go the same way, and then there'll be a person on their inside who they can chuck the ball off, and they can't score, and they'll because that sweeper is taking the player far away, so there's a massive hole. You split the defenders, and that's where the space is.
Always fantastic to get the insight from the players as we approach the sort of midway point of the day here in Lady Bay. Remember, we've still got a few more games to come for a mouth-watering clash at the end of the day between the South East Taipans and the South East Sharks in the Women's Open. That could be one hell of a game to watch at around about 4:40 this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't want to call that one either. I watched them at the we had a face-off for our earlier in the sort of end of June, and it's a very tight game. Some great touch being played, some great try.
Well, that one there was a turnover again for the Wildcats. That was more full contact rather than a touch there, as Luke Milsom that time was the one who gave the ball away, couldn't quite hold on to it, and the officials are having a discussion as the wind really whips up round here around Lady Bay. And like you say, these are challenging conditions for touch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not ideal. At least it's not raining and the ball's not slippy, but here with your passes, know where everyone is, keep your eye on the ball. I think that was 50-50 there. Playing aggressively, and the defender didn't want to give an inch. So the referee's just dealing with it between the two of them, saying no more nonsense, let's play some ball. We get on with it.
Well, let's see what happens at this point, because obviously there's going to be a turnover there for West Icon. Now, can they get a score here? Because again, a game as tight as this, you feel that games like this are very, very going to be dealt with by just maybe 1 or 2 points, as it is at the moment. 2-point lead for the Midlands Tigers, but they've got to defend this well now. See Hopkins Milsom again. Is he looking to try to go on the outside? And again, they just don't seem to be able to. Right now, Matt.
I think they just ran a sort of a lazy outward line, and the defender could just shadow him. It was pretty intense. They're not really challenging the Midlands with their moves at the moment. You need to get them moving a bit more, get them off balance, find those holes. They were doing it much better early in the game in the first half, but they've gone a bit off the boil.
Again, more. That is the Midlands type defend.
I don't think you can blame the wind for that pass there. Just a bit in front of him, asking a bit too much of the player.
Here comes the Midlands Tigers once more, and now here come the West Wildcats. It's Samuel on to Chan. Those two have been like joined at the hip throughout the entire game. And it is who drops the ball, and it's a turnover.
I think again, they didn't get the setup they wanted, didn't really have much on. So he didn't have much of a choice. Tried to force it.
There's Wells once more.
It's lovely driving to the box there, just getting a couple extra yards, making the defence go a couple extra yards. Having his break, he looks like he needs a breather.
Through the middle, and it's going to go to Wells, And I think to be a try, it is. Wells there gets the try, and that makes it a 7-4 game now to the Midlands Tigers. A 3-point lead with 5 minutes to go, especially in a game like this. You've got to think that that might be game over.
This game's been going to have that big a lead with only 5 minutes to go. I think they can be pretty happy. Can't take off the ball just yet, but pretty confident with their display so far.
Will Murphy was the man that drove through there in order to basically create the assist.
Yeah, it was a lovely scoop. Just put a bit of footwork on, dislodged the defender, and obviously as he was half, he had to pass it off. But as all good at the end of that, I think that was a dummy half got caught there.
Yeah, then another turnover, this time for Tom Lawton-Davis. And out there, was that a heavy touch? I'm not sure whether it was. Yes, it was. Not really too sure whether he bought that penalty or not, but you know,
He's got up very quickly, hasn't he?
You know, it was like that. It was like one of the rugby players back in South Africa against the Lions. Very quickly,
don't remind me.
They very quickly got back. But be a, let's see, the West Tigers are going to now try and come through. He's going to come through at this moment in time and try and basically secure the game if they can. Nice run there, nice touch indeed there, that one. Josh Henderson, he's been so far.
It's the final touch here, and he's given it away. That's touch 0 on the...
And now, quickly, and try and get themselves back into the game, although the shadow defence is there, as you say. And chance here, and he might have gone a little bit too deep. Yes, he has. And it's going to be a turnover on the 7. And again, and in fact, actually, it's going to be a penalty.
It's for a touch and pass there. Went through, thought he touched, gave the pass. Fortunately, it went the other way.
I think Ty Brennan was the player at fault there that time. As here comes Wells.
I think again there, he was just maybe trying to force it, hadn't done enough with the defenders to set it up.
Wells will take the ball off the floor there, scoop it up. Opportunity again now for Harry Misson, who's been very good today. And they're going to say, yes, it was.
Players, the ref signals there.
Nice little offload there, and again, he's. In fact, he's going to just take his lead now.
Good yards up to halfway. Sets up a good attack here. It's just overrun that. That's a bit frustrating. Thought he could have got through the gap.
Then again, you say that those touches, they bring back the momentum. No touch there. Was there a touch? No, there wasn't. And it's going to be a try there for the West Wildcats.
It's the man with a great name.
Stanley comes through. The man with one of the best names in touch has maybe given these West Wildcats. There's a corridor at the end of it all with a light on, but there is a lot.
Got to defend well first here.
Absolutely.
Can't let another score in.
A score here, and they could be all she wrote, and that's going to be a 6 again, as Charles Newton makes the block. But with every time they get those blocks in there, and they get those 6 agains, the precious seconds tick away. And that's going to be a try. That's a wonderful step. It's Will. And that'll do it for the Midlands Tigers to win this 1-8-5. It's a wonderful step.
Set up the sweeper nicely there. Goes to jinks to the outside, dives underneath the player. He's got to score every time. I think don't want to count my chickens too early, but I think that was 3-point lead.
Of course, the players don't actually know how long there is to go, or they. So we are almost ready to go once again for this afternoon's action here at the England are actually back right underway now. So women are both coming out. It is South East Taipans, North West Blades. I'm delighted to say that joining us on commentary from the victorious Midlands Tigers, Dan Powell. Dan, thanks very much for deeping up to the in the entire afternoon. Hope you've had a good one, good performance there against.
Yeah, really happy to get that win. They pushed us. We always knew it was going to be a tough game. They're a team that does want to run hard and push us to our limits. And yeah, really happy to get our second win of the day.
Very, very important, and particularly as you want to try and get in towards that top two, which we'll come back to in a minute. And there's a good click on Katanya Bing, who is just trying to get onto that there. Yet, I think it was a sixth touch. So in the end, over. But you've got 2 wins already. Yeah. That's a really good benchmark there, an opportunity for you to move on to the into the top 2 by the end of the day.
Yeah, fingers crossed. With the format that we've got this week, the game is so important. You can't take any opposition you've got for granted. Not that we would, but there's not going to be any easy game. Really happy to be able to pick up those wins. Look forward to the next game.
Well, whenever you're I don't think we're going to be seeing you up here on the main pitch today, or pitch 1 today. Hopefully you'll be able to go and get that 3rd win. But right now, though, we're looking at this women's matchup between South East Taipans and North South East Taipans, picked by our very own Chris Weirmouth to potentially be making the South East. Our first look at the Taipans today.
Exciting stuff. Yeah, I'm expecting this to be a really tight game. Actually, I think that Taipans are traditionally a really competitive, good side, but I think North have brought a really strong side. And I look at watch the majority of their last game against our Midlands side, and they were up by 1 at the end of that game, and they ran really well. They've got a really talented side.
A touch, and I think it was a touch pass. I think has been called there on Danielle Evans, so that's going to be a turnover, and the Taipans will pick it up. 2.5 minutes in now to this one, no score. As a touch, I think he's going to give that. It looks like, yeah. I think the referee's
certainly is, yeah. The standard of the refereeing so far today that I've seen has been excellent, actually, and yeah, it's making for some really good competitive touch.
The Taipans once again, ball goes off to McNaught, trying forward now, trying to give the offload. There's that going to be given as a try. It looks it. It looks it. It is a try.
That's it's an absolutely superb pick up from Kenzie there, and
Danny Payton going in there for the try, and that is the first point of the South East Taipans in this afternoon. Nil. Down there, I thought actually it looked like she brought the defence in quite well there, and then it had to go over and get that try.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, picked up against the grain. I think the North that they weren't able to hold their mirrors there, but yeah, good score.
So it is 1-0 and a turnover once more now for the Northwest Blades, and we've seen this quite a lot today, how teams that aren't necessarily together quite regularly, because obviously they play series in the Elite Touch series and the clubs play in the club games, but when they come together as like a sort of try and mix with new players.
Yeah, it can be, and I think that's especially the case this season because of COVID and the way that that's impacted our season. There's been a lot of club touch recently. We've had high performance camps as well, which has meant that getting together has been quite difficult. I know Midlands are here off the back of only 2 training sessions, whereas normally we would have had. So I think if you're a side that's been together a while and you've got players that know each other, it can be fine, but it certainly is a factor, particularly if you've got a team that's got a lot of new players that haven't sort of played in the side before or together from a lot of. With Midlands, we're quite lucky in that the bulk of our players play for either Nottingham or Cambridge, and we've got individuals for sort of the best part of 5 years now, with new players coming in, but experienced players that know their jobs and roles.
Well, we're 5 minutes into this one here at this moment in time, and it is the Taipans that are a 1-0. West are starting to come a bit more now.
Yeah, this is some fantastic rucking from Northwest. They've really put pressure onto Taipans here, and
Shot opportunity to go left. That's a really good take, and that should be a try. No, he's given the... Well, maybe if he earlier there, a level score line, but as it stands at this moment in time, it's 1-0, and that must have been a really good opportunity there for the Northwest Blades.
Yeah, that was a fantastic rucking set from Northwest. They got really good yards. They got Taipans flat and a really good scoop off of the end of it. And yeah, just some really good there by the Taipans to chase out and make the touch.
So the Taipans will come forward again. Here comes, and it's sixth touch.
Sixth touch, is it?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
It's a very, very quick set, but Anna Crossley, who was very, very important in that last set, is now going to try driving forward again for the Blades. And there's the second touch now, looking to try and more. And there's Liotta, dangerous, dangerous player. And here comes penalty given against McCavan. What was the decision there?
That was half court, so the player touch was the dummy half, which should be a turnover, but it was their fifth touch anyway, so so it would have been a turnover either way. Obviously, one of our core driving up to would be to get a on fifth touch, try and break the line, and was well defended by yeah, everywhere.
And the paper was like confetti, to be fair, for a second there, but thankfully the team sheets are still up here in our comm box. But trying to get across there, that's an interceptor, so that'll be a 0 touch. As the look to shut down this Northwest Blades. They've done that really well so far, to be fair. The only real opportunity was the one over the top there. They just couldn't quite get over.
Yeah, they have. I think it's been a really interesting game.
Still 1-0, yeah.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game. I think Northwest will be a little bit disappointed not to be at least even here. So yeah.
Looked like a missed touch there from the Northwest Blades, and eventually to make a difference there. I think the referee might have just missed one touch on it, but you can hear the cheers over at Trent Bridge. Of course, if you are just joining us here on the...
Certainly can. Do you know what the score is?
Yeah, well, we don't know, not just yet. We'll find out at half-time.
I was there yesterday.
Same here. Yeah. It was an interesting day, singing along to Bohemian Rhapsody at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a load of Freddie Mercury's.
I must have missed that one, but
only cricket. As Liotta drives, she tried to make the offload. I think she got out of play, and it is going to be Bex Holmes there that just couldn't quite get the pass away. And the Taipans once more get back to it, and again defensively they are absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, they are, and I think I've been guilty of being a little bit slow on their first, in that they're struggling. They turn the ball over there, sort of well outside of their 7, and we're looking at third touch here on halfway, which I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them be a little bit more direct on their first touch and get put Northwest on the back foot, because at the moment it's been quite easy for them.
Forward opportunity here. They wanted to get the touch, and they did do Liotta there with a really good, outstanding bit of work. As she just clattered into the referee there, Liana Liotta.
Yeah, certainly. I'm not sure he should have been where he was. Hopefully he's, and hopefully because she's a key piece for them.
She's been absolutely outstanding in the first half of this first half, but it was a straight. It was Georgina McCavan once more who just couldn't quite get up to that. And this is an opportunity here for the Taipans in this game. But now it's an opportunity here for McCavan, who's been very, very good. Kenzie McNaught, excuse me, who's been very, very good so far for the Taipans.
Yeah, definitely. She's a very good player. She's in Women's Open setup at the moment.
And there's the try.
No, that was touch first.
Form cheering. Must have thought that was going over, and not just there for Emily Ronaropa.
Yeah, the difference here has been when the Taipans have had lineups look really, really dangerous.
Here comes Ronaropa, and that's a sight. No, and Danny Payton could have had a second try there, but in the end, it is a turn. Blades got away with that.
Definitely did. I wonder whether the Taipans are gonna rue some of these missed opportunities, because they've been very, very dangerous.
You'd think from the ruck, because Crossley takes the ball up again. Now Liotta, as they try to do a sub move. We've seen a lot of them on this stream today. as the ball goes on again this time, and could that be the 6th touch? No, not just yet, but the Otters there again, looking to try and go left and right. Now the turnover there, I think that was a 6th touch there on McCavan that time, and also a really important person was trying to drive through the middle there, but again, these two teams seem really right now.
Absolutely. I think the women's open division is wide open this year. I think Taipans will be coming here expecting to win, expecting to compete. I think the same for the Sharks, but Northwest will fancy it too, as I'm sure will even after losing to Northwest this morning.
Well, that was a touch pass there. Oh, massive mistake there from McCavan onto Amelia Payton, and now here's a real opportunity for the Taipans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's these sorts of...
Fairnet takes it on and dropped over the line. Again, both teams now making crucial mistakes, and once again they couldn't punish there that time. It was Emily Hager who just couldn't, otherwise it probably would have 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Blades live to see another day.
The Otter, Crossley. Both of them have been absolutely outstanding so far. Payton takes it on, and there's a sub move again. Now, can they deliver something here from it? Opportunity knocks 4. Where head the ball down would have been a game like this. It really would have been that moment. And 2-0 even is massive in a game as tight as this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they'd ideally love to be, but it's a long game. I'm sure we'll see more scores. The teams are still feeling one another out at the moment, and finding the flow of the game.
And once more, they're going to give away a penalty. And again, it's another attacking opportunity here for the Taipans. They've got to be careful. Mess up all their opportunities. Well, I'll say that. that is the first commentator's curse of the weekend.
Excellent. Here's to many more.
As Danny Payton again drops the ball there, and now here come the Northwest Blades. Liotta once more onto Payton. Then Wells alongside Amelia Crossley, alongside Crossley, Anna Crossley. Payton doesn't know what to do with the ball right now. She almost trying to takes it into contact. Here's Payton driving forward again. Doesn't want to get caught as the half. Now goes back to Bex Holmes, and she did get caught. Nobody there with her, and that becomes the opportunity there for them to take them. Again, defensively, they've been outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Northwest here, they're rucking for touches 1, 2, 3, and sometimes 4. But what they've been a little bit guilty of is when they get into transition and get into an attacking position. Face off. What Taipans to do is get set. is get set nice and early, and they've got a nice defensive shape and are able to end those scoops. The one time that Northwest caused problems was when they redirect. They got a good touch on 5th and caused. Like to see them make an adjustment for the second half, and maybe run a little bit more direct, get the Taipans on the back foot and do with it.
Opportunity Otter. Surprised that wasn't given as a penalty, but they're going to get a touch there on the 5th. And there it is. In here for Danielle Evans. Liotta now across to Crossley. Did she get a touch?
She's missed the touch there.
She's been given as a try. Crossley, who probably has been one of the better players, in fact one of the best players for the Northwest Blades, has put them level.
Yeah, good score there. I think when you get to no more set-up opportunities, what you want to be able to do is run a team on the outsides, and they've done that well there. Good score.
So once more, we are level after 10 minutes of the Taipans lead. About it there as well, Dan. Will they rue those missed opportunities?
Let's see. There will be, but I think Northwest do feel like they're feeling their way.
And it looked us, and it was. It's a turnover.
I think that's as an incorrect roll ball. I don't think
Excuse me.
Don't think the Taipans player stepped over the ball correctly, which is what the in there.
I'm thinking of 15s rather than touch in terms of signals there. As Liotta moves the ball again. And you can see that they're just starting to pick the pace up a lot now, because here's Payton through the middle. She hasn't been touched. She thought she'd been touched. A really quick play the ball. Obviously can't score, but now they can, and Payton's over. That was all done there by Media Payton. She was absolutely outstanding. North West Blades the lead.
That's just that pressure on the rucking and driving really hard, and great patience there to be able to pull back, roll and strike while the Taipans were.
Georgia McCavanagh with the assist on the roll ball, and all of a sudden the Taipans, who have had plenty of opportunities in the first of this game, now find themselves behind to the North West Blades.
Yeah. I think the Taipans will be a little bit cross with themselves to have only scored one. See whether they can.
Opportunity here though, really good. And over in the corner, it is Katia Bing who levels. And to be fair, with the way the Taipans have been playing this first half, you've got to say that they deserve to at least go into the break level.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really good score. Yeah, created a 3-on-2 and fixed the man, executed really well. Yeah, good score. 2-2 feels about fair at the moment.
Opportunity though, the North West Blades to try and get it's Crossley. They've got women over on the far side. If they can get it out there, they can do. Did they get the touch? I'm not sure what the referee's going to give. I think he's given the touch there. Yes, that was very, very close indeed.
And that's good from North West Blades. They've got some really quick, agile players. They've got good ball skills. So to put the pressure on the Taipans, get them running hard is good. And unlucky not to score there.
Yeah, Jessica Wright over on that far side was very, very unfortunate. And again, the pass just wasn't there for her. Otherwise, Blades would have been Kenzie McNaught, who has been one of the better players for. She's been one of the best players in this first half, but they've got probably one more opportunity, maybe one more touch before the half. The dummy runner gets caught, and I think she knew that was covered. The side will be half time. So 2 apiece it is then here in this game. To be fair, it's been very, very even, very even indeed. But now let's we'll be back after this break very, very shortly. But what we're going to do now is take a look at what's been happening at the Thames Valley Vikings.
Thames Valley Vikings are great. I mean, I've recently joined this year, having come from university, and everyone's been really open, really friendly. It's allowed me a fantastic opportunity to kind of improve on the skills that I picked up previously, learn some new things, but in a really sociable environment. Everyone's made me feel really welcome, and obviously it's a lovely group of people, have a good laugh, and it's some good high quality touch as well, and I think that's the most important thing, that you're learning from sort of some of the best people in the country that gives you a chance to sort of develop your skills and get to reach that next level.
When you're a club that can actually say we've beginners all the way through to internationals who've got 50 plus, 75 plus caps for England, it's great because it just appeals to everyone that you're trying to get to really. And likewise, you then get that experience, helps to then you can pass on just little coaching points towards those that are new, just trying to make them feel welcome and just guide them through their own sort of development and learning phases.
Having lots of different experience and lots of different people that are willing to help out is awesome, because especially in terms of developing newer players, having one person telling you this is how it's done can be great, but not everybody picks it up the same way. So having 3 or 4 different voices saying the same thing but in different ways, picking up on different cues of what different people need to learn or develop is really useful.
They're a really social club, lots of fun to play with. I've been playing for about 10 years with them and come back to it on and off, and they're always friendly and welcoming when I come back.
We've got, say, like 14 to 15 people here in the elite side, which is great, but in terms of being like a big club and keeping everyone interested in being able to use facilities like this, we wouldn't be able to afford it without a big club membership.
It's so inclusive. You've got England players playing with people. It's their first session here tonight. Everyone's getting involved. Everyone helps out. There's a variety of different coaches, so people take it in turns to learn from each other. And most of all, it's really fun.
Not everybody wants to be playing elite touch level, giving up their weekends. Like some of us, I love it. But there's some people that just want to hang out and do some sports for 2 or 3 hours on a weekday evening, and that's enough for them, and that's great as well. As a sports, it's grown massively over 10-15 years in this country, and the level has increased because of that.
For me, the best bits are obviously playing touch. You've then also got the social aspect of this club, the friendly banter, fun. But then you also get such a mix of abilities within the club, but everyone just getting involved, having a great time, playing with each other. Yeah, it's great.
We've got a great female side, so we've got lots of really, really good female players. You can definitely tell the girls bond really, really well together. Like, there's a lot of banter going on.
We try really hard to try and win, of course, but it's also have fun. It's a very strong community, but I think the main message is to enjoy yourself.
This is Thames Valley Vikings.
Well, as you get, the wind is really starting to pick up again. Clouds have rolled in, so all those punters that are over across the road at Trent Bridge might be getting prepared for a bit of the wet stuff coming their way. Just a quick reminder that have happened today. Let's start with the pool stages of the mixed open. 10 West and South East Taipans, Northwest Blades and Midlands Tigers in the men's open pool stages. That was the, as we just wait on the siren to start this second half. So Midlands Tigers won that one 13-10 to Northwest Blades. The women's open pool stage as well. South East Taipans got on today. They beat the Southwest Saxons 9-2. So South East Sharks beat the Midland Tigers 7-6 in the mixed open pool stage, and the Northwest Blades 8, South East Taipans 10 in, as the siren goes, and we are underway for the start of this second half. Men's open pool stage, Sharks 9, West Wildcats 4. Women's open, Midlands Tigers 5, Northwest, and the South East Sharks 21, Southwest Saxons. So this is how this moment in time, ends. And then the South East Taipans as well, second place. Midland Tigers the third, West Wildcat 5th, and Southwest Saxons moment. 8 points each for the South East Sharks, Taipans and Tigers. So that's going to be very, very good indeed. South East Sharks and South East Taipans also top the mixed open at the moment, with the West Wildcats and Midlands Tigers 3rd, 4th and 5th respectively. One up for you as we do so. Hopefully we will be able to get the women's one up. It's not looking very, very good. But here we go. Northwest Block on 6 points. South East Sharks in 4 on 4 points, second place. Third place, South East Taipans on 4 points as well. And then the Midlands Tigers, Southwest Saxons and West Wildcats 4th, 5th and 6th respectively, all on 1 point. We will bring you an update on that before we go off later on in the day. But we're a minute and a half into this second half, Dan, and what have you made of it so far in this second half? Have we seen anything or South East Taipans that's going to take this game on by the scruff of the neck?
We'll see. I think Northwest had the tap off, and what was probably their first proper line attack set of they didn't manage a strike dump by going over the mark, so I'm sure they'll be frustrated with that. But they've just got themselves another set here, and let's see what they're able to do with it.
Carly Wynn takes it on, gives it off to Crossley, who's been really at the heart of everything the Northwest Blades have done so far. Here comes Wynn, back Crossley looking on the out, the best of touches, and a really, really good touch there. It was Olivia Harborough trying to go over there on the winger, and a Katie Fielding, and the Taipans have managed to hold there.
Got a fun fact about Katie Fielding. Her mum taught me to drive.
Did you pass?
I did pass.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Bad effort.
Shout out Tracy Fielding. No, but she's here tomorrow apparently.
We're watching that one, of course. Don't forget, tomorrow morning we're on the air a little bit earlier tomorrow morning, 8:30 BST. So after everything's done with the Olympics, you can join us here on the stream, and we'll be here 5. And is that a try? No, against Crossley. As we say, 8:30 pool stage games, and then we are back 1:30 and 5, 3rd and 4th place playoff, and then the finals. And again, looks like it's going to be given Crossley. I think the referee was telling someone off. Penalty for a push.
I think that's going to be given for offside there. I think the toucher didn't make it back on side as far as I can see. Maybe slightly unlucky. I thought that she'd made another superb touch there, but defers the referee's opinion. He can see and
win. Both of them at the moment are just trying to play ball hog, trying to obviously deliver something here. Win to Crossley, back over on the outside. Harborough this time, back again. Again Crossley gets touched, but a really good touch up there. Harborough this time in the overlap, and it finally works there for the Northwest Blades. It's been coming at the start of this second half, and it has been now 3-2.
Fab score there. Really good score for the Blades.
As the weather looks like it's going to turn really nasty in the next few minutes at this moment in time. The clouds have really rolled. It's a humid day here at Lady Bay by the banks of the River Trent in Nottingham, England. Looking to try and level straight away, and here's an opportunity again. Really good opportunity, and is that a back down? I think it is. So they're going to get 6 again. Yep. Holding that, and there she is again, popping up. Can she get the touch? I think she gets it. Once more, here they come. It is Hager, who's been very, very good so far from the half, and she gets touched over the top.
That's good.
And it looks like a try, and it is. Really good play there from Hager.
Absolutely, Northwest girls there, just guilty of not watching the ruck. Pick up them just too easy.
And the try there scored by number 16, Sophia Barkham there. Correction, it's number 18, Emily Bayliss. Emily Hager was the start off the drive, and then it was Barkham, it was Bayliss, excuse me, that comes in and finishes it off.
Another wasted line attack set there for North Blades. Northwest Blades. I think they'll be really disappointed.
McNaught has sent someone there for a hot dog, and now it's going to needs some support. And I think there's going to be a touch there. I think there is, but is someone going to be given offside? Yes, I think the guilty player there is Livia Harborough, who did just score not too long ago. Gilding will be one of the happiest people in Lady Bay. McNaught once more. Rona Roper now on the ball, back to McNaught. Gets a touch again, Rona Roper back on it. Opportunity, but has to go back to 7 there. Rona Roper looking, scoring, no, touched.
That looks close, great touch there.
Arbuthnot was the one driving forward again. She might now get an opportunity to do so again. Rona Roper around the back. She's got McNaught available, which she uses. Backper gets the touch, but it's offside. Offside there, this time against Nicola Watt. And here comes an opportunity once more.
Well, that's another penalty given on the line.
So that is 3. So does that mean, what does that mean when there's penalty in a row? Does that mean that the players got to stop? Does that mean the players get talking to? What does that normally mean?
So with the new edition of the rules that we've started playing this year, when a third infringement on the line occurs, it looks like it was just 2, can't count. But where there's a third infringement on the line, one of the team will be sent forward. They'll be down to defending 5 until the end of the set.
Well, it doesn't matter because South East Taipans have managed to get right.
Certainly doesn't. Great finish.
It really was. Involved in it. That is Emily Rona Roper who gets try the game. Down at the start of the second half, it's now 4-3. 11 minutes left. As Crossley once more gets chased there by Megan Pemberton. A chance, and not that time. It's going to be the 5th touch. And there looking. Back it goes to Wynne. Evans. Crossley. Can they deliver something here? They've got to, because otherwise they're going to turn the ball over. Crossley outside, no one there. And that was Jessica right there on that far side. And that's a really good defensive set there from the Taipans, particularly after they've scored. Nice step. Over it goes once more.
Good yards here from the Taipans.
It's important to have those runners on your side shoulder, and that one is dropped there by Alice Summers. And so here comes Evans again for them, and now Crossley. There's a rolling substitute. Back on comes really exceptional players in that first half for the Northwest Blades. On as we hit the midway point of this second half, Leota and has slowed up enough, but the referees didn't do that. But it is the fifth. Leota now off it goes back inside, and that would have been a real good opportunity. Just couldn't quite find that. Could Nicola Wise, and Leota not knows what's happening there, that she was involved in a bit of space, but couldn't find her.
Yeah, I think up until this point, defence has been really tight. They've defended as a unit, and they've made it really hard for Northwest Blades. So yeah, I think they'll be ruining that chance, because it was a human one.
McNaught again, but these two have been outstanding so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Bags of experience, and I think it's
Roper going to the left. She got tough.
Yeah, they got that extra score at the end to seal the deal. It was yeah, well played by both teams.
Indeed, so it is 5-3 in the end. That is the win there for everybody out for the South East Taipans. We'll be back shortly with more live rugby for you.
So that brings the end of the game. Just a reminder, the 30-second warning is now indicated by music. There'll be some silence, so make sure when the music plays, you take to the field, ready to play. The games are flying by now, so we've only got a few games left this afternoon. officials. This is your 1 minute warning. Players and officials, 1 minute warning.
Are you debriefing first, or do you want to? No, I'll do it. Well, Tom, what's your surname? Elliot. The touch rugby keeps coming thick and fast here at Lady Bay, the home of Nottingham Rugby. My name's Chris Wearmouth. I'm joined by Tom Elliott for this mixed open match between the South East Taipans in red, playing from right to left as we look, and the Midlands Tigers in white and orange. And it's the Taipans on the attack first off, and the ball goes to ground. And you know, you might be able to see the floodlights of Trent Bridge in the background, and a big hello to anybody who was watching on Sky Sports earlier on the cutaway. Brilliant to have them cut away and recognise us as a great sport going on. Tom, just a quick reflection on the Taipans win over the Blades in the Women's Open that we saw a couple of minutes ago. Hard fought.
Hard fought indeed. I think the Blades come out with really good intent to start with. You know what you're going to get against them. You're going to get a bunch of girls who are going to run with real intent. They're going to run hard at you. They're going to run direct. From a ball handling point of view, they've all got exceptional skills. So for us to come out with that win in the end, although it wasn't maybe as comfortable as we were hoping for, it's a win at the end of the day, and it puts us in a good position. We've got a tough game this afternoon, I think, back on pitch 1 against local kind of southeast derby against the Sharks, so you know, we're just trying to build towards that really.
Yeah, we've seen the Sharks on here earlier on today. They were mightily impressive against the West Wildcats. I hear the little birdie tells me that you played each other in training a couple of days relatively recently.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago we had the Southeast kind of championship, the seated champs, which allowed us an opportunity before here to get some real good gameplay in. It was 3 games over the weekend. The Friday night from the women's point of view was, I believe it was 5-all, so kind of everything to play for on the Saturday, and credit where credit's due to our Taipans girls. You know, we saw the best performances and probably exceeded our expectations as coaches, and came away with a 3-0 kind of series win. However, ultimately that means nothing at the moment. It's building momentum towards tomorrow, and seeing what we can do to put us in the best possible place to be in that final tomorrow evening.
As the Taipans clear up this left-hand side, we saw them win their last game against Northwest Blades, and pretty comfortably so in doing. Though Blades did score a few. You've got a good blend of experience and youth as well.
Yeah, I think the Southeast kind of Taipans are going through a transition period at the moment. For us as a team, we've got a large proportion of senior, very experienced players. Those who have been around from the very beginning. Pick on Emily, of them, excited group at the moment, and really kind of using senior players, their experience, you know, they're in Taipans and in touch in general, and kind of the most successful down in the country. So, through that kind of finished development have.
Down, kind of like sanction.
Yeah, well, the corner, so it's getting on.
And as you say, hard fought. He had a hard fought game against the Tigers first off as well, the Midlands Tigers. 5 teams in this, so they had a bye in the opening round, which meant they got a little bit more of a line than everybody else. But then they lost by 1 to the Southeast. That's been Sue Ellen Gotti now restarts the play for the Tigers. And Dan Lewis moves it off, and there's a good mix of Nottingham and Cambridge players within this Tigers outfit. Hannah Suzuki from Cambridge, although she's a bit of a gun for hire. She's turned out for quite a few teams in the National Touch Series this year. And Sue Ellen Gotti now takes the ball in. And so that's going to give us a force by Mountain. It's the pass there out from Dan Lewis. See Keisha Raymond Blythe. And that's Matt Blackett. We had him up here in commentary earlier on as well, in with the famous Tash. Colin Scott now. And again, this Taipans outfit is a mixture of youth and experience. And it's one of the more experienced players there, Colin Scott, with the base layer on, who's got the ball now, but just fumbles it. And the Tigers, trailing 1-0, bring the ball up through the middle. Sue Ellen Gotti, who won the bronze medal with the England Women's 27s in Malaysia a couple of years ago in the World Cup. And Tigers are now going to tie things up, and what a fantastic turn of pace. Assuming that's given, that has been given.
I have to say, you can't see how much space there is on that far side, but he's got absolutely no right to get down there. But credit where credit's due. If you've got pace like that, God, I wouldn't mind having that in my locker.
Absolutely. 1-1 then, and this is I think the Seb de Chavez, one of the who made the touch there, is one of the he's an up-and-coming player, made a massive difference when he played for Peterborough in the Development National Touch Series. Yeah, it's a little bit there as the Taipans just cut through the middle.
Josh Bendel, certainly one of the more experienced players in that setup. He's somebody who's been playing now for several years. He was down at Exeter University with myself several years ago, and the touch club down there kicked on and developed and come a long way. So certainly one of the more experienced players. Somebody to keep your eye on as well for this particular side for the Taipans.
Tigers straight on the offensive again, diving for the line. Matt Blackett, sorry, has he made the touch on the way down? Nope, ball down. Ball is ruled down first off, and Tigers tie things up once again. That is a proper 50-50 ball on that. Just but still tied up at 2. Rebecca Maxwell and Colin Scott, the London Eagles duo, combine. And Tom Pennisir finds Scott. Keisha in the Scott diving for the line. Nope. Touch made. This is turning into a really evenly matched contest.
Yeah, I think 40-minute touch we haven't played a lot of it. It's not something you get on our NTS series here, or the opportunity to play. And ultimately, what it allows you to do is start to build momentum, and you start to see these momentum shifts and swings, and the right to return as well. Obviously, one score from tap-off is something that teams certainly need to look to punish. Good long ball, I think slightly forward potentially.
Yeah, that's been given as a forward pass. Which into the wind, because the wind is blowing as we're looking. Although it's changeable, it's now in our faces up in the commentary box, but it was blowing from left to right earlier. It's making those long passes quite difficult to pull off.
It's certainly swirling around, but I'd back somebody of Brandon Jevons. I think he was the number 12 in Taipans. To keep your eye on, he's certainly got it in his locker. Looked at
the first. Just finishing things off there for the Tigers, and that putting the Tigers, the home for the first time. Hometown boy, home team, and a very competitive team they are as well. But are the Tigers going to concede? Yes, they are.
James notorious for his strong right foot whack. Split them apart there.
Just to concede from the Tigers' perspective.
Yeah, I think ultimately from a defensive point of view, you're never looking to concede in that mid channel. I know mixed, slightly defensive orientations are different to men's and women's, but ultimately what most teams here you'll see on to chase out. So from my point of view, I'll be pointed if I was conceding in that channel. But fair play to the Taipans, and 3-3, isn't it? 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3. Taipans this time are very hot on their with the unmistakable pace and the unmistakable gunslinger pass, although that's just hit the deck on the far side. Disappointing there for the Tigers. Taipans defending just to the thread on. Matt Blackett takes it on, feeds Brandon Oon on the inside. Be Turner off the deck. Oon. Turner again. To Colin Scott this time. Turner off the deck, one touch to play with, and here comes Scott. Ball away, Tom Pennisid. That went back to Scott. Taipans have got Tom Davis there, as opposed to the bearded speedster playing at it, and Davis now takes play up to halfway. On and into the Taipans half. Seb de Chavez saves Seb de Castro. Sorry, I apologise for that. It's won gold with the England under-15s in Paris 2 years ago in the Mixed Open and the European Junior Touch Championships.
Well, it's an exciting time for touch, isn't it? You know, we've had a period of 2 years off, and there was a very talented group of juniors who came through and performed very well at the juniors over in Paris, and this is really our first opportunity to see them. A long time coming, I have to say, but it's promising and certainly exciting looking at these youngsters coming through, particularly for the pathway that we've got in this country. Yeah,
we're just sticking with Midlands for a second, and just while they're driving, is that we saw Harry Misson play and Matt Maynard. Yeah. But the Maynards and the Missons, it's in terms of teenagers, and it's not your region, but to show to highlight exactly what you're talking about. I mean, those players have just developed massively over as people, as they've grown, as they've matured and hitting their late teens. It's just amazing the difference a couple of years makes.
Absolutely, they've been on the scene. I don't know them personally, but they've been on the scene, since I think about 13, 14 in their particular regions, and you've seen parts of them. They've been involved with the England junior setups throughout, and now I'm not sure how they must be 18, nearly pushing on that kind of age, and now really starting to push for those kind of senior honours in those open sides, and it's certainly one of the successes.
He's renowned for developing young talent, with the Wolves club in Wandsworth, and it's a real focus as well. Yeah,
I think across the board in CETA, Andy this year has done a huge amount of work. We've gone through a rebrand that certainly will come about next year. The media has all changed in the good hands of just looking to really push on with our brand representation, also what we can offer for CETA. Our breakaway down the wing here.
That's Hannah Suzuki. That's going to be given us a pass. Not surprised that went forward with the strength of the wind, but they're disappointed with that. I think that's one where the hands went backwards and the ball very, very went forwards. As we come into the last 5 minutes of this first hard to identify, up against the Southeast Taipans in red and black, who are playing from left. Of Galaxy, the Bazid, and somebody of Cambridge restarts the play. Popped off to Gotti, and Tigers look to get fresh legs on that far side, but the players are really hard to get the momentum back.
I think this is a real test. Not a lot of players this season would have played 40-minute touch. I'm not sure what other regions have been doing in regards to their preparations towards nationals. NTS has obviously changed format and about the substance games, so for other players, I think it's a good opportunity to do it.
That from Dan Ticehurst, one of the youngsters in the Taipan setup. He's over 10 minutes in time, get their subbing move going. Tom Davis takes play into the Taipans half. And Tigers really have got a good roll on. That's just ball's just gone today.